Welcome to DorkDuo. We are the Dorks. I am Adam, and this is Steve. And this week, we are talking Spider-Man, of course, DC, and other nerdly news. But first, we have a couple of DorkDuo-related announcements, which I'm quite excited about. So, first of all, I was incorrect when I said earlier, and by earlier I mean 2-3 weeks ago?
However many.
However, in one of the past episodes when I said that that Daredevil and Batman v Superman was coming out on the same day, I was misinformed, and I'm apologizing. Daredevil came out today. Batman v Superman is coming out next week. So that means that next week we will be having our Daredevil review. Steve and I will both be watching all 13 episodes of Daredevil. I've already watched the first one. It was very good. I won't go into much else besides that until I've seen the rest of them. And we will be reviewing Daredevil next week, and then the week after that, we'll be reviewing Batman v Superman, which is actually great for us, because it means that we have less to consume in a single week's time, less to think about. And if we were doing both on the same day, that would take up a full half hour at least of just reviewing two different things. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually really happy that that it is staggered by a week. That makes things a lot easier on me.
That is handy. Also, new microphone this week for your boy Steve. So if it sounds good or bad, depending, we'll know next time, and then we won't use it again. Yeah. But for the sake of see how trial and error, we'll see how it goes.
And other announcements is that we are now officially on YouTube. So if you really like us, you can see us on YouTube if you'd like. It's just the audio right now. With our really awesome title card that Steve did most of the work on, and he did a really good job.
Thanks.
And we're on YouTube. So far, only the first 3 episodes.
Because they take forever to put up there.
Oh my goodness.
Was it 18 hours
it was
to get one up? 18
hours to upload a single episode. So I'm working on it. I'm working on getting the rest of them up, but I have 5 more. And there's only so many hours to do this, so I'm working on it. I'm doing my best. But
so when we get caught up, it'll be better. But for now,
it just be patient. We'll get there. And in the meantime, I will be editing our episodes to make them shorter and cut out any fluff. So if you're listening to this live on 91.7 The Edge, you're actually getting the full version. Whereas if you're watching it in other mediums, you'll be getting the edited version that sounds much better and and has less less ums and ers and you knows. Probably everything I'm saying right now is probably just all gonna be cut out. So
great.
Yep.
All the explanation for why things are the way they are.
Exactly.
Cut it out. Good.
So first thing we're actually going to talk about is that Civil War trailer. Probably the biggest thing to happen in the past 2 weeks.
Oh, really? I hadn't noticed.
I would say. I've already seen the trailer about 20 times. And, that Spider-Man reveal was pretty great. Not gonna lie. The rest of the trailer was good. It made me excited, and I was really this is really, I'm really liking this trailer. But then when I reached the end, and I could still hear the music going, and I was just wait a second. Oh my God, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. Oh my God, they're gonna do it. And then they did. And it was amazing. It was really great. I really like the new costume. What do you think of it?
Well, first of all, let me point out that I actually forgot Spider-Man was going to be in that movie.
How did you forget?
Because we heard nothing about it.
Well, yeah, that was kind of the point.
I know. There we go. It worked, I guess, because I was surprised. I was like, oh, Spider-Man! Because I remember he was there, and I heard the whip noise or web noise, and I was like, oh! So that was pretty exciting. I actually am not a huge fan of the costume as far as the colors go. I think it's way too much red. I think I don't care. I am not one of those ones who's going to nitpick.
It's kind of interesting.
Surprisingly.
Oh yeah? You're not a huge fan of the costume? I really like it. What was really weird for me is when I first saw it, I was actually a little bit taken aback for a second because I was, of course, really excited because it was a really well done reveal. Mm-hmm. So I was excited, but then I was like, wow, wait a second. I don't know about this. And then I looked at it again. Yeah. Hey, everyone. That was so good. It was I really liked, the almost Deadpool-esque breaking the fourth wall. I don't know if you noticed this, right at the end of that trailer where, it was, Robert Downey Jr. is just I've run out of patience. Underoos! I don't know do you know what underoos is?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just making sure. It's the long underwear that's almost always, superhero themed, which is hilarious. But it's almost like Marvel, not DC, goodness. It's almost like Disney was sitting there saying I've run out of patience, Spider-Man, and they have him show up, and he's just hey everyone, it was like he was talking directly to us, yeah, I'm here. You know,
it is kind of like that because that was everybody's favorite part of the trailer.
Oh, of course it was. It was there were other great moments from the trailer. Like I really liked seeing Ant-Man riding Hawkeye's arrow. That was really sweet.
That was cute and impossible. But
how is it impossible?
Because he would have get blown up.
This is a Marvel movie. There is no such thing as impossible. Nothing is impossible. In a few months, we're going to be getting, or a few months, in like half a year, we're going to be getting a Doctor Strange movie. Don't talk to me about impossible, Steve. Nothing is impossible.
Mission Impossible.
But when I first saw that costume, I was taken aback because it didn't have the raised webbing, which a lot of people were really happy about. And at first it kind of weirded me out because it looked too much like pajamas.
Oh, I didn't actually even notice that part.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have. Yeah, they're just colored on.
Yeah.
Like every other Spider-Man costume we've ever seen in live action, it's always had the raised webbing where it's it looks like actual webbing. Mm-hmm. And I really like it.
Which seems like a nightmare for someone who has to sew it themselves. Who's probably never sewn it before in their life.
That was actually something some people were complaining about, is because in the original movies, all 5 of them, Spider-Man isn't rich. He's a high school student / college kid who has no money.
Parent who's poor.
Yeah, who lives with a single aunt who is poor. He is poor. He's constantly, running out of money and has to, practically
do a silly pizza job he gets fired from.
He has to practically prostitute himself out just in order to make money by, selling pictures of himself to J. Jonah Jameson. So,
what a gig, though, right?
Well, yeah. So he doesn't really make sense for him to have this super fancy looking costume, with his raised webbing. How does he get his hands on that? Who?
Well, how did he get hands on the Oscorp super webbing container thingies for shipping containers? I don't know. I think they don't really explain it. They just kind of say, it's here, and also he has some now.
Things you kind of have to step away from and be it is a comic book movie. That's kind of what I liked about the original Spider-Man movies way back when, is they just made them organic webbing, it was just a part of his powers.
Which would have been a much easier way to explain it away.
Well, it was easier, and that's why they did it, because they didn't, that was back in the days when superhero movies were just starting out, and they had to be realistic.
Well, I also think most people don't know that Spider-Man's webs are not organic, or at least they weren't organic.
Yeah.
Depending on how you...
and the other thing that's really cool about the costume that we were talking about previously, and you weren't all that excited about, but I'm really pleased with, is the eyes, where they have lenses and they can they can zoom in and get bigger and get smaller. And a lot of people are really excited about that, and including me.
Yes,
I'm really pleased.
I wasn't before, but I'll stipulate that the ability for him to actually show facial expression while wearing the mask is pretty important.
Yeah.
So I'm more excited about it than I was.
If they did something like they did in Deadpool, where Deadpool was constantly, raising eyebrows and, whatever, doing his emotion thing. If they did that in Marvel, it would look weird, because we would sit there and say, what, he looks like a cartoon. How did we get here? Mm-hmm. What I really like about it is it's taking that and trying to make it real, somewhat realistic, plausible, by having them be lenses that they can zoom in and out. It makes sense. Actually, that's totally cool. And also, it kind of makes sense for Spider-Man. Wouldn't it make sense that he would, because he's always, way up in the middle of nowhere on top of some building. Wouldn't it make sense that he would have some means of zooming in on people, like binoculars or something?
Well, his suit does, normally.
Does it?
Well, depending on the incarnation of the suit.
Oh.
Yeah. Because original Spider-Man didn't have that. Superior Spider-Man had that.
Oh, did it?
It depends on who's Spider-Man at the time.
I didn't even know that, so.
Yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, well, cool. But the suit was great. The reveal
who else has that, though?
What?
Iron Spider.
I hate Iron Spider.
I don't know how you can hate Iron Spider.
Wait. Is Iron Spider the one that is just silver?
No.
Or is that the one that has the stupid arms coming out the back?
I think you mean the amazing arms, and yes, it's the arms one.
I hate the arms. I don't
Why?
like it. I'm sorry.
It's
dumb.
spidery.
It's stupid. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Is it because there's only 7 arms then? Is that why you're upset? Because it's not 8 of them?
No, I just think it doesn't look very good. I think it looks dumb. It looks too Doc Ock-like. It's just, I don't like it.
Well, that's kind of the idea.
Why do you want this? I don't understand.
Looks cool. Iron Spider's awesome.
I don't like Iron Spider. Why am I being the negative one? What is this? I don't like Iron Spider. I think it looks really kind of I'm not sitting here it's the worst thing ever. It's not the worst thing ever. I can live with it. But the classic suit is the best suit.
Okay.
No matter what.
I'm agreeing with you there. The classic suit is the best one. Fine. That's okay. And nobody would. Okay, that's not true. But most people who went to this movie probably wouldn't know what Iron Spider was.
No.
So they wouldn't be able to get away with that.
I think that if they had revealed the Iron Spider suit in the trailer, I think people would have lost their minds, and not in a good way. I think comic fans would be like, "Oh my god," because that's the suit he wears during the Civil War
half of
arc.
it, yeah.
But I feel like the rest of regular moviegoers would just be like, what?
Yeah. Why is Spider-Man dressed like Iron Man?
Yeah, why is Spider-Man look like Iron Man crossed with Doc Ock? Like, I don't like this. This makes me uncomfortable. And I'm actually more in that line of thought. I'm just like, I just doesn't work for me. I don't see the big deal.
I'm not saying they had to do it. I'm just saying Iron Spider's cool and you're wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. Well, we can agree to disagree on this. That's totally cool.
Fine. Good.
And the other trailer that dropped in the past week was a X-Men Apocalypse trailer. And this actually ties into one of my bigger problems with X-Men Apocalypse. And that is that it is entirely forgettable. Like, completely and utterly. Like, I'm not excited. Nope. Do I think it's going to be good? It probably will be decent. I'm so apathetic towards it. I just don't
That's a good word
care.
for it.
Like, it's just kind of
doesn't affect my life in one way or another.
It's just there, and like, I liked Days of Future Past a lot. I thought Days of Future Past was really, really good. And I thought First Class was really, really good.
I never saw First Class.
No, really?
No.
Oh, you should see First Class. But Apocalypse just looks okay. Like, I'm trying to think to myself what the problem is. Because under any other circumstance, I'd be like, oh, this looks so good. But it's just really, really...
Could it be that almost every X-Men movie is pretty meh, except for, like, a couple?
Two of them?
Yeah. I think the problem with the X-Men movie, I don't know, this is maybe unrelated to Apocalypse movie or whatever, but I think the problem with most of the X-Men movies is that most of the characters are just wildly uninteresting.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I only go to X-Men movies for Wolverine.
I know. And that was kind of intentional. And I've been reading that a lot of people are upset about some of the earlier X-Men movies, like 1, 2, and 3, because they focused so much on Wolverine. And, everyone loves Wolverine. Of course we all love Wolverine. But they did it at the expense of literally everybody else in the movie, with the only exception being, like, Professor X.
Well, like, the first X-Men movie was about Wolverine joining the X-Men.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
And then the second one was about Wolverine, like, discovering his past. Yeah. And the third one was just
you're kind of locked in at that point, because at that point, Wolverine's the only character with a personality. Other than Cyclops' angsty teenagerness, and Jean Grey's too old for everybody, but still somehow passing as a teenagerness. And Professor X...
She's not supposed to be a teenager.
How old is she supposed to be in that movie?
She was like a teacher. She was supposed to be a teacher.
Like she was 45 in that movie.
I think
but
she was
Scott
supposed
was
to be
like in high school.
Scott was also a teacher. Both of those people were teachers.
I don't remember that being
yes,
them being
that was
teachers.
Totally a thing. Oh gosh, no, they were definitely not students. They were both teachers.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Doesn't sound right.
I know for a fact that Jean was a teacher because I remember that I think X-Men 2. I think she was teaching a class. I know that happened.
All right.
And I'm fairly certain the same is true with Scott, though I will admit that I do not remember him ever seeing him teach. But
I just remember him shooting lasers. And
I just remember him
angry.
shooting lasers
Generically
and being jealous
of
Wolverine. And I'm just like,
And that was before Hugh Jackman got hot. So that was the low point of Wolverine's career.
I think Hugh Jackman. I'm not even attracted to men, but man, Hugh Jackman's hot. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, Hugh
Jackman is hot.
Did
you ever see the comparison of Days of Future Past Wolverine to X-Men 1 Wolverine, and how he's like more ripped in the past than he is in the future?
Yeah. X-Men 1 Wolverine looks like the prepubescent Wolverine. Like it looks like you know how Blaziken in Pokemon looks dumb. Or not Blaziken, Combusken looks really dumb.
Combusken sure does look dumb.
It's like the middle stage where it's like, nope, this is
awkward
wrong.
Puberty.
Yeah, it's the awkward puberty stage of Wolverine's life, and that's X-Men 1. We didn't see the chick stage of Wolverine, and we don't ever really need to.
That requires clarification. Is chick as in Torchic as in the first form?
I mean, chick is in baby chicken, as in small animal.
I know, but that
not,
word has more than one
female
connotation.
Version.
You need to clarify.
I don't mean X-23. Though I'm not against seeing X-23. That sounds cool. But, hey, whatever.
Okay.
But,
really off topic from Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho, it looks dumb.
It looks
dumb. I don't actually even care to see it.
And I think another part of the problem is the fact that the movie is coming out in 2016 with so many other superhero movies.
Yep.
Like, we are getting Deadpool, which we already got and it was great. We are getting Civil War. We are getting Batman v Superman. We are getting Doctor Strange, Apocalypse. And is there any more that I'm forgetting? Sure there are.
Black Panther's 2017, right?
No, yeah, that's next time. I think that's everything.
Those are the important ones.
Plus, there's all the superhero TV shows we got. We got Flash, Green Arrow, Daredevil, which we're going to talk about next week. Jessica Jones. Actually, no, that's Luke Cage. Luke Cage reading this year. Like, it's just, there's so much superhero
Iron
things
Fist.
that's coming later, though.
Yeah.
But,
did you see the review of Iron Fist where people are using the word different a lot to describe it?
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Doesn't bode well, Adam.
What's wrong with different? It should be different. I don't want the same thing.
When you say somebody is different, that's what you want to say when you don't obliquely want to say something bad about them, but you don't know what good to say about them.
I think they're just trying to say that that they're not trying to recreate Daredevil or recreate Jessica Jones. They're trying to go.
Then they would have used the word
in
once.
A different direction.
Then they would have used it once,
you know,
not repeatedly.
People were just. I remember them. They were describing Jessica Jones as being different than Daredevil.
Jessica Jones is
because
different.
It is different, and that's a good thing. Jessica Jones is fantastic as it is, and I think that Iron Fist probably will be too. Like I have no problem with it being different. If it ends up being a bad kind of different, then we can talk about it in like the years later when it finally comes out.
Ye of too much faith.
Well, I have too much faith because Netflix always does everything great. I have too much faith, Steve, because they have literally never disappointed me, not once, and it's been 3 times running now. Well, I haven't seen all of Daredevil season 2 yet, but I saw the first episode and it was awesome. It was totally great. Like, I really don't think Netflix can do any wrong at this point. They have proven that it's like what you were talking about with Nintendo like 2 weeks ago. Like, you know, they've proven themselves.
All right.
The Netflix Marvel series have shown that we can have faith. Like, it's okay for us to sit here and say,
fine, stipulated, whatever.
All right.
So rolling back to the thing we keep getting past, Apocalypse looks boring and dumb, and I don't want to see it.
Actually, this conversation is really cool because it kind of points to what we're saying about Apocalypse. It's forgettable. There isn't much to say about it. It's just like, yeah, okay, so...
Apocalypse himself doesn't look very interesting or threatening.
No.
He looks like a blue Mr. Clean. That's what I always see when I look at him.
See, to me, he looks like Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movie.
Ooh. Saying somebody looks like a Power Rangers villain is like the worst thing you can say to somebody.
Yeah, no, I know. And he's played by Poe Dameron from Star Wars, which is cool. I like the actor, but I don't know about the Apocalypse, the character or the movie. I don't know about it at all. I really think that it's going to be one of those things that we just forget about, not only after we see it, but in like years from now. Like I think in 10 years, people are still going to be talking about like, oh man, remember Civil War? Like, oh man, remember the Avengers? Remember Batman v Superman?
Well, no, I feel like at that point this bubble will have burst and nobody will care anymore. And then people looking back at us will say, boy, those people had a real problem with superhero movies.
That's probably true. We really do, like, our culture really has an obsession with superhero movies, and we're a part of that.
At the moment.
Yeah.
In the future, when this is all over and people will look back and say, hey, remember how there was, like, actually, like, one of those that held up? And we'll be like, okay, yeah, but it was a different time. It was a different time.
I would say most of them hold up pretty well. Like,
Granddad, why did you watch so many superhero movies? Well, you see, they kept making them, and we didn't know any better.
It's true, though.
We thought that train was going to last forever. Oh, you don't know what a train is because it's the future. Laser monorails. Whatever. Okay, so...
I think the Avengers still holds up, even, like, what, 4 years later?
It holds up if you don't watch it a bunch.
Yeah.
Like any movie does. Well, because I will... Okay, do you remember Scott Pilgrim vs. the World?
Yeah.
That was like my favorite movie for a while. But I watched it too much, and now I can't watch it anymore because I ruined it for myself.
It's a good movie. Oh, yeah. But it's true of literally anything.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Avengers is only good if you've only seen it a little bit, because it's like you can still get that shock and awe, because it is like 100% explosions and special effects.
And yeah.
It is not a deep narrative, that Avengers movie.
The really cool thing about the Avengers is the fact that they're all teaming up. It's like, you know, oh my god, it's all these characters
it's
that
like
we already saw,
but not lame.
That we are like. I feel like if I'm trying to show my kids or whatever, the future generation, the Avengers movie, the Avengers movie, like in years from now, they're not going to have the same reaction we did because they've already seen this kind of stuff. You know, superhero team ups. You know, characters that have been established across all kinds of different mediums, meeting together.
Oh yeah, well when the plague of the cinematic universes takes hold of the earth, and every single movie franchise has to have 9 spin-off or cash-in movies, then, you know, this will just be second nature to them. But
yeah,
for us, before the plague landed in the good old days, before the age of darkness, we got to see it firsthand at its prime.
Yes,
before it was perverted.
It was great. It was fantastic.
In the days of yore. Anyway.
And I actually feel the same way right now about Daredevil. We've talked about this before. No, I'm sorry, not Daredevil. I said that wrong. I feel the same way right now about Deadpool. This is the beginning of the end, my friend. We are going to get so many over-the-top, ridiculous, funny action movies with fourth wall breaking and blood
funny
and guts
in the largest quotes that
bones
reality will
and
allow.
bones breaking and it's all going to go downhill from here. Daredevil was the peak, and it's never going to stop.
Yeah, well, the shameless cash-in is the easiest skill any movie person can master. It's the first thing they teach you in movie school.
All right.
How to take a good idea and ruin it.
So anyway, about X-Men Apocalypse. We're both not very excited about it, but
I can't even guarantee I'll see it unless you tell me to go see it.
I think I will force you to go see it.
Okay, that sounds like you.
Yeah, I think I'll force you to go see it, and then we can sit here and rail about how forgettable it was.
Yeah, or we can go see it at the same time and
we
come
can
back and see how much of it we actually retained.
Yeah,
because while we were talking here, I was thinking back to some of the other X-Men movies. I remember scenes from them.
Yeah.
But all of them involving Wolverine.
Yeah.
And none of them with any context.
I'm trying to
For
think of,
example, I remember when Wolverine's claws got cut off by that dude in the Wolverine movie.
Which is great.
And I was like, whoa, didn't see that coming. But that's all I remember. That and like the slug thingy that took away his
I can think of a few. Okay, I remember. Oh wait, you haven't seen First Class, so.
Well, that didn't have Wolverine in it, did it?
It had a very small cameo.
Okay.
It was really funny, actually. The First Class people, Magneto and Professor X, they're building a team, like the first X-Men.
Yeah.
And then they use Cerebro to go out and find a bunch of mutants, and then they find Wolverine, and they're just like, hey, excuse me, we're building this team. Would you like to? And then he just interrupts them. He's just like, go beep yourself. And they're just like, never mind. And they just
Thanks
walk
for your
away.
time, sir. Have a good day.
It's really funny.
Because I remember the scene from the first movie where he fights Sabretooth in the Statue of Liberty.
Oh wow, I actually don't remember anything about the first movie.
I remember the really awkward sex scene between him and Jean Grey.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. I remember Toad being in that.
Oh yeah. I remember Toad and Storm's fight.
Yeah, where she's just like,
where she strikes him with lightning.
Yeah, and then he falls away, and then we never see him again.
I remember Nightcrawler's introduction because Nightcrawler's
that
one
was
of my
awesome.
favorites.
That was really awesome. They're in the White House. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Not gonna lie, that was
pretty much it, though. That's all I retained from those.
I remember.
I could describe to you almost all of the Iron Man in those movies,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I couldn't do you any X-Men stuff.
I can remember. Oh man, there's actually Okay, I remember the Quicksilver scene in Days of Future Past.
Oh, right.
That was pretty great.
Which Quicksilver do you like better?
Oh, no question. The X-Men version of Quicksilver. No question. It's so much better. The Marvel version of Quicksilver was completely forgettable, had an awkward, weird, accent, and
Russian?
really, it wasn't even Russian. It was
sort of Russian.
Pseudo-Russian.
Trying what they were trying to be, I guess.
I guess, yeah. It had this weird accent. He was just he was unfunny, uninteresting. I didn't really care. I'm
He wasn't
excited.
supposed to be funny.
I'm excited to see where they're going to take
Actually, hang on a minute.
Scarlet Witch.
Didn't the agreement a while ago? Wasn't there an agreement of between
the two, Sony or not
Sony?
Yeah,
and,
it's Sony.
Sony and Marvel, where they said we could use Spider-Man and you can use our guys in your movies, and that's how they're dividing it up. Is that how it works?
Sort of.
Because that means we have two continuity Quicksilvers now.
The Quicksilver thing was from way before that, actually. It was from a year or two before that, because the Quicksilver thing, because Sony owns the rights to mutants, and Quicksilver is a mutant.
Yeah.
However, Quicksilver's introduction, I believe, was in an Avengers comic, so Marvel could use him so long as they did not make him a mutant. They had to have him be something else. They could use the name Quicksilver and that character, but they had to take away the mutant aspect of him. And the same is true with Scarlet Witch. That's how they could get away with that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really weird and it's kind of odd, but
so how do they explain
fine.
their powers then?
Don't you remember in Marvel?
No.
They got their powers
they
from
got
the
it
stone thing.
genetically.
Yeah, they were genetically modified or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, they couldn't make them mutants. They never call them mutants, and they can't because that would be breaking copyright laws. So, yeah, fun.
Neat.
I would love it if they could if Sony could just be here's everything. Just go for it, have fun. We're gonna be over here making terrible Ghostbusters movies.
The world's just not that nice of a place, Adam.
I just thought of something.
What, Adam?
I just thought of something that we didn't talk about.
What didn't we talk about?
And we have to talk about this
What's
now.
that, Adam?
Have you heard about the Venom movie?
No.
Oh, man. I should have mentioned this before we did this show, but I forgot about it, and now I remembered it. So, Sony is making a Venom movie. Like a Venom, like from
just by himself?
Spider-Man. Yeah, by himself.
Okay.
And it's going to be in a separate continuity from the MCU Spider-Man movie. So they're making a Venom solo movie without Spider-Man in any way. He's not going to be in there.
Well, who?
Yes.
Who's
They haven't announced who's going to be Venom. They are making it. They're in the works for making this Venom movie.
I assume it's Eddie Brock, right?
Yeah, it's going to be Eddie Brock.
But he didn't become Venom until after Spider-Man became.
Yeah, but they're just going to, I guess,
there's no
skip over
Spider-Man.
that.
So Spider-Man just
no
doesn't
Spider-Man.
exist.
He just, as far as I'm aware, yeah, there's no Spider-Man. Just done. No
It's
Spider-Man.
like making a Green Goblin movie without Spider-Man.
I know. It is literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And what that means...
Some guy working at Ace Chemicals fell in, got colored differently, and decided to be evil without the influence of Batman.
What this means is that Sony is working on 3 separate Spider-Man-related properties that do not tie into each other in any way. They have
Genius.
the MCU Spider-Man.
Mwah, genius.
They have the MCU Spider-Man, which they're kind of like letting Marvel play with play with Sony's toys, which were originally Marvel's toys.
Yeah,
it's
but then Sony stole them and then claimed that they were theirs because they licked it, and now nobody else gets to touch it.
Pretty much. So Sony is letting Marvel play with its toys, while at the same time making this Venom movie, while at the same time making a Spider-Man animated movie. If you remember us talking about that from a while ago?
Vaguely,
yeah. They're making a Spider-Man anime movie, they're making a Venom movie, and they're making the MCU Spider-Man movie, all separate from each other. Which makes so much sense. Has Marvel shown nothing to Sony? Have they proven nothing to them? Does Sony
To be fair, Sony was doing it first.
What?
Making the superhero movies.
Yes.
So they probably feel like, no, we got our own thing to do. We know what's best.
Yeah, but everyone hates those movies now. Like,
Marvel came in and showed you what a bunch of morons you were being, and you were supposed to have learned your lesson, but nobody did. So
some people did, I think. Well, actually,
Sony,
DC
though.
did. DC is Warner Brothers is all jumping on the Marvel train. They're taking the Marvel formula and trying to do it as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Well, see, that's just it. They're not doing the formula. They're taking the conclusion and just trying to cut out as much of the formula as they can to get to the same result.
Yeah, as
which
quickly
is
as possible. Yeah, which is a
bad
bad idea, but whatever.
We'll see. I'm still positive about Batman v Superman.
So am I.
It still looks good. So maybe they'll pull it out of the fire. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe they'll pull a hat trick. You know,
Yeah.
They're juggling so many things at once, and maybe they do it perfectly. So I'm hopeful for it. But I don't want to talk about Batman and Superman. I'm going to hold off on any more conversations about that.
We should move on from pretending to talk about Apocalypse.
Oh man, that's really where we were. Oh my gosh. All right. So Aquaman and the Flash movies. We're just doing all kinds of superhero movies today. Just endless superhero movies.
It's a lot of movie stuff today, actually.
Yeah, it really is. We just have a little bit of video game stuff right at the end. But so Aquaman and the Flash movies will not be origin movies, which I am so happy about. Yes. That's how you do it, DC, kind of. That's a step in the right direction.
With the big asterisk at the end, yeah.
Well, can you imagine if we get the Justice League movie and then so just picture this horrible world we could possibly live in. You know, they make the Batman v Superman movie, let's say it's good. Then they make the Justice League movie, let's say those are good too. And then they make a bunch of prequel movies, like a Wonder Woman prequel, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, everything just origin movies. And then they do Justice League 2, which is a sequel to Justice League, and then all those other movies, like 5 other movies, were just prequels leading up to the Justice League movie that we already got. It's like doing the Marvel formula like completely backwards. Can you imagine how horrible that would have been?
It would be bad.
Like, I'm really glad that they're not gonna do that, and they're just gonna be like, okay, so we're making a Justice League movie first. Fine. You know, I think we can all live with that if they do it right.
Here's how I feel the DC mindset went. Okay, so the ultimate goal was the Justice League movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, make that fast. Okay, what else we got? We got all these characters, nobody knows who they are. Aquaman. Anyone care about origins of Aquaman? No, he's a guy from underwater. Great, just put him in. Just don't worry about that. We'll just start him off from the top. Flash. Anybody seen Flash? Anyone seen the Flash TV show?
Yeah.
Great, that's good enough. No more intro for him. Make him a movie too. Cut, print, kill the pig. Let's go.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Martian Manhunter. No one knows who he is. Never mind. He's not in the movie.
You see, it kind of ties into what Marvel is doing with Spider-Man. We've seen two different Spider-Man movies talking about the origin of Spider-Man. I'm really glad that they're not going to be making a Spider-Man origin story again for the third time. Like we've seen Flash and no one cares about Aquaman. So we don't need their origin.
Just jump
into it.
It's probably because Sony lent them Spider-Man and they were pretty much just like, we don't want to waste the time.
Plus, an Aquaman origin movie wouldn't even make sense. He's just the king of Atlantis. What, would they just do the Thor movie?
You know that's not it, right? Oh. He wasn't born in Atlantis.
Wait, he wasn't? Oh,
no,
I thought he was.
He's only half Atlantean.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and he's actually taking the throne from the rightful heir, his brother Orm, who's Ocean Master, who's really upset about it. And that's where we get Ocean Master from, because he's really petty about losing his right to the throne.
I didn't even know that, so...
Yeah, it's a little more complicated than he's just a fish man. But still, that's a bunch of new characters nobody would have time to care about because we need the Justice movie right stat now.
Yeah. I've really... I'm okay with an Aquaman movie if they do it right, and I'm also really cool with the Aquaman that they cast. I like Jason Momoa a lot. So I'm okay with them doing an Aquaman movie. I just don't need an origin.
Aquaman.
I'm so not excited for any more origin story movies. We've just seen so many. The only recent one I can think of that was pretty good was Deadpool, because they needed to do an origin story there, because they needed to be like, this is what Deadpool actually is, everybody. Not that other thing you saw that one time. Forget about that. This is real Deadpool. So here you go. But I just am so tired of origin stories, so I'm really excited that Aquaman and the Flash won't be origins. That's very good.
I feel like we're probably never ever, by any competent studio, I should add that, by any competent studio, we won't get any more origin stories. Because they already...
Except for the Wonder Woman movie,
Whatever. They already knocked out all of their important characters, so
pretty
all
much.
the next characters, like Avengers, there's no more important Avengers as far as anybody's concerned. So if they add more characters, they're all just...
Excuse me. They even have Ant-Man now. Out of the Avengers. He was one of the original Avengers. Everyone was always like, oh, where's Ant-Man? Now they have Ant-Man. So, there really isn't any other Avenger I can think of.
Well, okay, we're Swordsman then. He's the original Avenger. Where's the Swordsman?
Yeah, but no one likes... I've never even heard of Swordsman.
Swordsman was an Avenger before Captain America was.
Well, yeah, that's because Captain America was, unfrozen by the Avengers. So, yeah,
well,
I knew
Captain America
that.
didn't join the Avengers until the 4th issue, but that's
I know.
That's irrelevant.
Whatever, yeah,
The point is that now we're going to get, after origin. We're going to get a follow-up movie to an origin story movie that never existed, basically.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It's fine.
Because, or they'll just introduce them in another movie, which also is fine. It's probably a better idea.
Maybe DC is taking the approach of, trying to almost make these movies from the perspective, sort of a regular person. They do the Superman movie, and really what Man of Steel was it was an origin story, yes, but it was also introducing Superman to the general populace in that world. It was it was oh man, now Superman's a big thing. And then there's then Batman v Superman. It's sort of introducing Batman to the rest of the world besides Gotham. And it's introducing, their fight and the formations, the early beginnings of the Justice League. Mm-hmm. And then they did the Justice League, and then everything, so maybe they're approaching Justice League from the perspective of regular Joe Schmoes in that universe don't know who in the world Aquaman is or the Flash is. Well, maybe the Flash, but not Aquaman.
Well, presumably they know who the Flash is because he's not getting an origin story. So presumably he's already got the powers, so presumably he's already running around Central City saving lives.
But maybe they're approaching us from the perspective of all of these superheroes are well known sort of in their own little bubbles, in Atlantis and Central City and Gotham.
For the record, the animated DC movie Year One is a perfectly acceptable Justice League movie, and I would take that if there isn't one, because that's perfectly fine.
I have to see it, so maybe I'll see it.
It's got all the characters.
First, I'm going to see Daredevil, but after that, maybe then I'll watch that.
You can take a break in between them to watch that instead.
Can I though? I don't know about that.
Maybe you can't, but some people could.
I gotta say though that I probably will try to stagger my viewing of Daredevil at least a little bit. I'm gonna watch it all in a week, but I don't want to binge all of it, or I don't want to binge all of it in 2 sessions, because I just think I would hate myself. Kind of like our problem when we were watching Jessica Jones, because it's so gritty and dark and sad, and it's just draining. It's oh my gosh. Like,
I don't want to go on.
yeah, I don't want to do this anymore, man. Just let it
But
stop.
I don't think the first season of Daredevil had that problem, and we binged that in 2 days.
Yeah. The first season of Daredevil, the only problem I had with the first season of Daredevil in regards to that was sometimes the violence got a little much. It was hard seeing Daredevil get the crap beat out of him so many times before it was just like, okay. I think I need a brief break here.
What were we talking about? What was the news item?
Aquaman and Flash movies
Moving
are
on.
not origin. Yeah, let's move on. Wow, we're extremely distractible today. I don't know what's going on.
It's my different microphone. It's
that's
visually distracting.
That's got to
me.
be it.
Siphoning
I blame you entirely.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
I'm used to it.
So,
what else is new?
There's a Lobo film in the works over at DC.
I don't think this requires much to talk about.
And they're now starting over from scratch. They've been working on it for a few years, and now they're completely just scrapping it and just starting fresh with the Wonder Woman writer, like the Wonder Woman movie writer.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because like they must be pleased with his script for Wonder Woman if they're giving him Lobo immediately after that.
I guess, or they're saying he's already on the payroll and nobody cares about the Lobo movie.
Always with the negative, Steve. Every time.
I don't care about the Lobo movie.
Neither do I.
I know Lobo's one of those things where he's like, you either really, really, really like Lobo or you don't care at all.
See, I barely know who Lobo. I know he's like an intergalactic bounty hunter, so he's like what, like a darker versions of the Guardians of the Galaxy, except only one of them.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah, like,
you mean
I
like
don't know.
Star-Lord, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
like,
you could
like
say
imagine
that.
Star-Lord, but pale and evil and a bounty hunter.
With Kiss makeup, yes.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a
with
flaming
Kiss makeup.
motorcycle.
Yeah. I saw
You know,
him.
do you remember Teen Titans?
Yes.
Remember Johnny Rancid?
Yes.
That.
Okay. Yes. I also saw, he was also very briefly in Young Justice.
He was very briefly, for like, one episode.
Yeah,
yes.
literally, I think it was the first episode of season 2, I think, actually. First or second.
He was up there really
very
early.
early.
For sure, yeah.
I remember because
Because it was while the Justice League was gone. So,
yeah.
Which was the entire season. So
But yeah, this
doesn't actually narrow it down,
Lobo movie, I gotta say, I am so unexcited for it. I don't care about it at all.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it completely. Like, I'm not like sitting here like, no, we can't have this. This
man's getting a movie.
this is the worst idea ever. I'm just like, I don't.
I'm curious
care.
as to where it fits into continuity.
Yeah, I don't
Or
really
if
know
it
where
even
they're.
does.
I don't really know what they're gonna do with it. But hey, whatever. Maybe they're gonna.
He's gonna show up.
Maybe
in
they're gonna do
plexiglass.
another Marvel thing and you know, like bring in like Darkseid as Thanos. You know, kind of like the same.
That's
basic
got to be
idea.
their ultimate goal, I'm sure.
Yeah, which would be fine. Like totally fine.
How
with
else would
Darkseid.
they do it? I guess.
I don't know.
Darkseid's like the villain.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I mean,
Okay.
I guess they could do other people.
We
but
have more.
Brainiac could probably be the only other one.
We have more DC news. So
Yeah,
just-
whatever.
just
Lobo
keep on.
movies, if
Lobo
we do that.
movie, whatever.
Yeah. We'll let you know if it gets exciting
Yeah,
later.
maybe when they announce something like casting or something else or a trailer or something, then we'll get excited. But right now, I really don't care. So, and
Agreed.
up next, J.K. Simmons has been cast as Commissioner Gordon in the Justice League. Yeah,
I think that's really dumb. I understand that he's an actor and he has range and all of that,
Oh, yeah,
but I
he
will
totally
not be
does.
able to see him as anything but J. Jonah Jameson or the guy from the insurance commercials.
yeah.
And more J than that. And like he made an excellent J.
Oh,
but
man.
I don't think he can make that
I
good
think
of a
that
Gordon.
there's some comic book characters that in my mind are so associated with one particular actor that I can't see the character being played by anyone else. They're like Deadpool, Iron Man, actually less so with that. Never mind. I was gonna say the Joker, but that's not true
No, it's
because
not
there's
true.
so many different interpretations that I'm more than even if one's really good.
Voice of the Joker is Mark Hamill.
More, yes, that's true. Yeah, like the voice. Yeah, Mark Hamill is the Joker. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. And then there's J. Jonah Jameson, who is a minor character, but he is so perfect as J. Jonah Jameson that I can't even picture anyone else taking the role. Like I'm just like no. I'm
Best
fine.
character in the Spider-Man movie. Better than Spider-Man.
Yeah,
J-
probably. Yeah, actually, he kind of is. Yeah, he literally is.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, but it's true.
Well, you know.
So yeah, I'm not really sure how you can take this loud, annoying, obnoxious, but also very funny and entertaining character like J. Jonah Jameson and have the actor turn around and play this sober, like honest cop who's just trying to clean up his city.
Yeah.
Like Commissioner Gordon. That's just kind of a hard thing to flip around and do, but the guy is a good actor, so maybe.
Yeah. It's not a deficit of his acting ability that concerns me. It's just I won't be able to put him there.
I know.
Because I have this idea of him that's unshakable. That I feel like I won't be able to appreciate it. Saying he couldn't. I couldn't.
The only real problem I have with this, like, the casting is okay. I'll see how it turns out. But what I'm really more annoyed about is the fact that he's even in the movie. Why? Why in the world is Commissioner Gordon in this Justice League movie? He doesn't belong there. It's frustrating to me.
I already told you, Adam. He gets the coffee and takes the calls.
But what?
He
their
answers
secretary?
the superphone.
It's so stupid. I just don't understand. They're having a hard enough time. Like, they're cramming as many Justice League members as they possibly can into Batman v Superman, and then they're gonna cover the rest of them, besides Green Lantern, into the Justice League movie, and now they're gonna throw Commissioner Gordon into the mix too? Why? We don't need him. He has no reason to be there, like, at all. If they're gonna have J. Jonah Jameson, that's what I was about to call him. If they're gonna have Commissioner Gordon in this movie, in Batman v Superman, that would make sense. Or if they were gonna have him be in the Batman solo movie, that would make sense. But in the Justice League movie, there's no reason to do that unless he has like a 5-minute, like, extended cameo where he's just, or like, maybe Batman is off being in Gotham for a little while. And
Yeah,
he meets up with
there's
Gordon.
2 ways they could do it, I guess. I guess they could make him just cameo style where he's just going to be there for the Batman segment. Or he's going to be like their guy on the inside, like he runs the police force and he's going to rally the cops. Like he did in the Christian Bale Batman movies. Like he was leader of the underground or whatever,
I guess
I feel like he could be doing that.
There are ways they could do it. I'm like, I could.
By the way, I think what's that guy's name who played that?
J.K. Simmons.
So I think no, the guy who is the Christian Bale.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I think he was a great.
He was perfect. I loved him. He was fantastic. Of course, Gary Oldman is perfect in like everything. Like, he very rarely gives a bad performance. With the only one I could think of being like Bram Stoker's Dracula, where he's a little over the top. But hey, whatever. I can live with it. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this at all.
I don't have any opinion either way, I guess, because we don't know what he's doing yet.
No, yeah.
But I guess we'll have to wait and see how Dumb's casting is.
I want to hear more about what not just like his role, but I want to see more about Gordon's role in the movie. Like, what is he doing in the movie? Is he just there as for emotional support? Is he there because they're doing something really important in Gotham City and he's like in this underground thing like you're talking about? Like, what's he doing? And that's what I need to know.
Yeah, well, we can't really discuss it until we know what
there's nothing to discuss until they decide to announce it. Or I guess I could like try to hear about rumors, but I try to avoid rumors as much as possible. Sometimes I'll report on rumors, but I generally try to skip those because I would rather just hear an official confirmation. Unless a rumor is so real that it's practically confirmed already. Like remember like 2 weeks ago or whatever when we talked about how the Iron Fist casting?
Yeah.
That wasn't confirmed until like 2 days ago.
Oh,
like I think, or maybe even yesterday. Like yesterday, they confirmed. Oh yeah, he is officially going to be Iron Fist, and it's like, yeah, but we reported on it weeks ago because we knew that's what it was. Like the rumor was so strong that.
And the world keeps on spinning.
Well, yeah, that's true of literally anything, Steve. So.
Not if the planet stops.
Well,
how silly would you feel then?
Well, it's true. All right, so we're going to move on to stuff. All right, so Indiana Jones 5. Has been officially announced. It is 100% happening. This is another one of those rumors things I was talking about, where it was so heavily rumored before this that we decided to talk about it, and now it's been officially confirmed. And it is going to have Harrison Ford, and it is going to have Steven Spielberg directing.
Yay!
Yes, I'm so excited. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Cash in, ching. We need a sound effect for that.
Yeah, we should get one. That'd be cool. Cash in, yeah, like ching. Yeah, it's a
nice.
Great idea.
Put it on the list of all that stuff we have to do still.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, I don't know why. Why would there be another? The fourth one didn't do that well.
No, it didn't. It was critically hated.
Yes.
Like.
You already had a trilogy. If you make it to a trilogy and people still care about your movies, stop. You won. The game is over. There's no reason to make a 4. When has a 4th ever been better than a 3?
I can't think of a. Well, that doesn't really count.
Uncharted's making this mistake right now, making their 4th game. They didn't. We
Yeah,
don't need a fourth one.
little
I'm going to
bit.
play it.
Of course
I'm not
gonna
going to
play
lie.
it.
I'm going to play it.
Yeah, now we can
But-
finally talk about video games. Yeah, I'm totally gonna play it. Are you kidding me? Of course. Anything with Naughty Dog's name on it, I'll just
Yeah,
just
but they already
put my
had
name
a
in
good
there.
trilogy. 3 was a good game. Whatever. I mean, it was just okay. It's a
2 is the best one.
They're all pretty fine.
No, 2 is the best one.
Fine, whatever.
Fine.
It doesn't matter though because they don't need a 4. Just like Indiana Jones doesn't need a 5.
No,
It didn't
absolutely
need a
not.
4 either. But
It didn't,
definitely doesn't
need a 4, and then 4 turned out terribly.
Yes.
And-
So already you're starting out weak.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you only have up to
the
go.
one thing
There's
I can
only so many magical doodads in the universe of common
The one thing I-
parlance
the
that
one
you
thing
can use for these movies, though. What's the next magical goo-gaw that he's going to go after, do you think? Let's take bets on it right now. What do you think the next one's
Atlantis.
going to be? The entire civilization of Atlantis?
Or just Atlantis in general. Just make like
Balderdash.
I don't know. I'm just throwing
Balderdash.
throwing
It
things out
has
there.
to be an item. It has to be something that can be caught because the bad guys have to take it back from him during the second half of the movie.
Wow. I'm not a historian person, so
Well, they've all
the
been
Apple of Eden. Nailed it.
That would be
Yep.
a fruit, and that has decomposed a long time ago.
No,
Adam.
I was thinking of Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed,
yeah.
I know you were.
I know.
I know you were. I hate to break it to you, Adam, that wasn't a real thing.
Shut up.
Of course, I guess you could make
Shut
arguments
up,
for any of those
Steve.
things in the movie, but that's not the point.
Yeah,
So I
neither
don't-
was the Ark of the Covenant or like what the crystal skulls. None of it was real.
Well, actually, there
but-
are real crystal skulls.
Well, yeah, but are they magical and are they alien
I
heads?
don't know, Adam.
that have to
I'm
be
not Indiana
reconnected?
Jones.
Do they have to be reconnected with the alien bodies so they can answer any question?
I don't know. No one's done it yet.
Such a stupid movie. The more I think about it, oh my god.
Well, I don't know what the magical thing he's going to be next, but it better not be another space thing because space is not a good
So
direction
not
for Indiana
cool.
Jones. No.
That was-
Oh no.
That
It's-
movie
it's
was
the space between spaces, Adam. It's not space.
I'm not gonna say that Indiana Jones 4 was good, but I was okay with it right up until the point where they were like, "Yep, it's space. There's a UFO."
Yeah.
You know, like, "Yep, that's aliens." I was just like, "Okay, we can't. This is Indiana Jones. You can't do that."
Yeah.
That's no.
This has to be
no.
has to be some sort of biblical artifact.
Yeah, like you can't.
Like the next one's gonna be like the Shroud of Turin or something.
Oh,
except we already
it could-
have that in the Vatican somewhere. So never mind.
I
You
think
can't do
that
that
they could
one.
do something with like not necessarily like. I think they could do something mystical without it being like a singular item. Like they could do like El Dorado, or they could do Atlantis, or like
We already had movies about those things.
Yes, and they were both
El Dorado
animated
and Atlantis,
and they were both animated, and
and they were both better than Indiana Jones 4. So
that's true.
El Dorado.
I'm trying to remember like that stupid song from that movie where they're like. I can't remember. I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to embarrass myself any further.
It's great to be a god.
That's it. It's great to be a god. Yeah,
That's the one. Yep.
I love that movie. I love that song.
It's on Netflix now. I'm super excited. That was one of the ones I never had as a kid. So anytime I got an opportunity to see it, I did. It's good stuff.
Now that song's gonna be stuck in my head for the rest
Great.
of the day.
You can watch it when you get home. Right after you're done with Daredevil.
No,
Right after
Daredevil.
you're done with
Daredevil
and
is
Justice League.
everything. After I'm done with that, then
Daredevil is love. Daredevil is life. Okay, so the point is, what were we talking
dumb.
about?
Indiana Jones 5 is gonna be dumb.
Yeah, bad stuff. Who cares?
Though I was gonna say something before,
He's
and
getting
that
too
is, yes, he is. I was going to say something before, and that is that if this movie turns out good, that could be the greatest comeback story in movie history. Like, can you imagine if it's like, oh yeah, they make a terrible fourth one, and then they announce a fifth one, absolutely no one thinks it's a good idea, and then they just go ahead and they're just like, you know, we're gonna prove everyone wrong, and then they do. Can you imagine
if
that?
they crush it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But they'd have to crush it.
Yeah, they'd
real
have to
good.
crush. That's the thing is the expectations at this point is just like you can't. Actually, I was gonna say the expectations are too high, but at this point the expectations are so low that
Yeah.
it's like,
What's the thing,
just
right?
make it better than 4.
But no, that doesn't work because when you put the expectations on the floor from where they were from the first trilogy, because lots of people like the first trilogy, everyone likes 1 and 3 at least. You
Yes,
know,
I think
Temple of
2 is
Doom
terrible.
Yeah,
but-
I don't like Temple of Doom either. So maybe this is the reverse thing. Maybe the
Yeah?
fifth one will be amazing, and then the sixth one will be garbage too. Who knows? But I think when you set the bar on the floor, if you just make the next one good, it's not good enough because you have to
No,
make
it's
up
not.
for all the good
Yeah,
that
you
wasn't
almost
in
have
the
to
other
do
one.
twice as good.
Yeah.
Like you have to make it better than the
For
originals.
example, the Star Wars 7, that had to be amazing to make up
It
for
was
the prequels.
pretty close.
Yeah,
It was
but
close.
that's just it. If
Yeah.
it was just okay,
Actually,
it
that's
wouldn't have gotten the...
that's a good analogy for it, and also has Harrison Ford in it.
How about that? Harrison Ford can make anything good.
Actually, according to the rumor for this, and I was debating whether or not to talk about this, but I think it's kind of an interesting thing to talk about. Apparently, Harrison Ford only agreed to do Star Wars if they would do Indiana Jones 5.
Why? Does he really want a chance to make up for it, or?
I guess. I mean,
of course, he doesn't need the money.
Actually, I kind of have this conspiracy theory that he's just trying to take all of his iconic roles and have them killed off. So maybe they're going to kill off Indy in Indiana Jones 5 and have Shia LaBeouf take over.
Or it might just be the end of the series.
Well, that'd be fine, too.
Because they've already disturbed the grave enough, and they try to reanimate it with 4. Maybe just put those body parts back. Maybe it's just not meant to be. This Frankenstein's not happening. Just let it go back.
Yeah, they really did leave things a little too open at the end of 4. They could totally. They really should just make the 5th one and just finish it. Just be like, we gotta let's just.
But that's no reason to make a movie. You're already down and out, man.
I know.
Just tuck your tail between your legs and slink off in shame. Don't try to come back and lose the fight on purpose just to say you could do it.
I keep thinking of Rocky now. That's all I'm thinking.
All right, fine. I didn't hear no bell, which is the catchphrase of Indiana Jones 5. I don't know why there has to be a 5th one. If they are just making it to kill him off, there's no point, because you can only get away with that when you're on top. Now, you're on bottom now. No one cares anymore.
I don't know. They did it with 7. They did it with episode 7, and they were on bottom before that. The prequels left a real bad taste.
But he wasn't in the prequel movies. He was still riding high.
That's true.
Everyone's still
That's true.
But Indy is now taking a big trip face first into the mud. And now he's making, if this is all speculation, but they're making a 5th movie just to kill him off.
Yeah.
That's a move you pull when you're on top and you want to go out in style. No,
like Star Wars.
Not to be offensive or anything, but nobody cares if Indy dies now. Because he's not a hero anymore.
Yeah, no, everyone's just like, why are you even bothering?
Yeah, it's like if some professional boxer came back, to go with the Rocky analogy, came back when he was like 70 years old to try to take the glory days back, and then gets obliterated by somebody a third his age. Nobody's going to be like, he was a hero. So like, no, we remember you in the heyday. Why did you come back? You're arthritic and half blind.
It's
like,
true.
There's no reason for that.
Yeah, these are great analogies you're giving. Yeah,
that might be an extreme exaggeration, but to boil down to the bedrock of the issue.
Yes,
we don't need an Indiana Jones 5.
No, we don't.
Feel free to take that off the roster, Steven Spielberg. Have a good day.
All right. Yep, I agree with you. All right, up next is Daisy Ridley, who I adore, and not just because she's attractive, but also I just think she's a really awesome person. She's funny and interesting, and
I'm just not going to go out with you.
Shut up! I'm not interested in a relationship with her at all. Nope, none. Anyway,
so telling Savannah.
Daisy Ridley is rumored to play Lara Croft in the new reboot movie, and they're apparently going to be using the reboot video games as like
Teacher, I have a question.
As like a base starting point.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
Why are we doing that? Cash in, cha-ching. Actually,
no.
Cash in Inception, because we already had a cash in the reboot video game series, which is boring.
The reboot game was really good, though.
But we didn't need it.
Well, no, but
there's
it was
like
great.
9 billion Lara Croft games already.
Yeah, and then they made a reboot, and it was really good.
It was okay.
I would say it was better than okay. It was better than okay.
It was okay.
I played it like 2 or 3 times. I really liked it.
Then you are either self-loathing or really bored.
No, it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
It was just fine. It wasn't bad, but it was Uncharted. Girl edition.
Well, yeah, but a lot of things are Uncharted.
Yeah, but Uncharted makes it work. Because it's, spectacle-y and cinematic and all that exciting, character-driven bull. But
same
like,
thing.
No. The Tomb Raider one,
see, I like
Lara
Uncharted.
Croft is not a character. She had a character moment in the beginning when she first shot that guy, a la Far Cry 3.
Yeah,
but that was it. Nothing after that. She was totally cool after that. She was just a punching bag for the rest of the game. And it was dumb. And almost raped that one time. But that is not a character trait.
Duly noted. However, I still liked the game, and I'll admit that it probably wasn't as good as... I would say it's at least on par with the first Uncharted. Because I think the first Uncharted is actually kind of similar in the same way. The first Uncharted isn't all that great from a character perspective.
It's not, no.
He's just like a dude on this island.
Well, Nathan Drake by himself is not much of a character.
No, not really.
But he's more reactionary, just like Lara Croft is, but he reacts like... I don't want to say logically because he doesn't, but he reacts like what his character is designed to react like. Lara Croft just reacts like surprised and huffy a lot of the time.
Yeah,
and not huffy as in upset. Huffy as in literally huffy.
A lot of literal breathing.
Yes. Yes. Which is a problem. Because, I don't know. I don't want to say it's because she's a female character. Because,
don't say that.
No. Well, it's because when game people make female characters, they only know how to make them in 2 ways. They're either helpless and worthless, or they're, they build character by being beat up.
Yeah.
Or, okay, no.
See,
that's the same character. I guess the other option is they're like the action girl who's like overly actiony to make up for the fact because nobody knows how to write a female character.
You know, what's really interesting about this, I was actually reading something about this recently. I wish I remember the exact word for this, but there's this interesting thing in regards to female characters and the way that they're written. And that if you take a character, let's just say that this character does not have a gender yet.
Okay.
If you take the character and you make them this lecherous drunk, they're constantly hitting on other people. They're constantly they're drinking. They're mean, loud, annoying. Everyone hates them. If you make the character a man, everyone's just like, oh yeah, what a piece of garbage. He's a terrible guy, whatever. Mm-hmm. But no one is sitting around being like, oh man, he's a bad example to all men. How dare these filmmakers or the game makers, whatever? How dare these people write this horrible male character? No one says that. No one's sitting there saying like, oh my gosh, what an insult to all men. But if you do the exact same thing, same character in the exact same way, but you make them a female, suddenly you're being extremely sexist.
Have you played Wet?
No.
That's who that character is. The girl from Wet, she's that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. But that's because 97% of game makers are men and nobody knows how to write a female character.
Well, I almost think like sometimes the reactions of people, like just because a certain, what? Well,
don't even.
All right.
Don't even open that can, Adam.
Maybe I shouldn't even touch it.
The point is, nobody knows how to make a female character properly.
That's often true.
Yes.
Yes.
Which means we don't need a Lara Croft game.
Anyway.
Because that reboot was dumb. And we don't need a movie spin-off of it because the movies are always
dumb
But
Daisy
as well.
Ridley. Daisy Ridley would be a perfect Lara Croft. Perfect. She looks exactly the way Lara Croft is supposed to look. She is. I already see her as Lara Croft. And she hasn't even been Lara Croft yet. I'm already
that's neato keen for you, Adam, but that doesn't mean we need the movie.
I'm not saying we need it. I'm just saying that I have no problem with it at all. And you don't you don't even have to see it. Like this isn't like one of those nerdy movies I'm going to force you to see.
Adam.
What?
Cash in, cha-ching.
It's not a cash in.
Cash in, cha-ching.
No, I refuse to accept this.
Cha-ching.
Daisy Ridley
Double
is great.
cash in, cha-ching.
Daisy Ridley. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the next thing, and that is Gotham. And
Daisy Ridley sounds like Ridley from Metroid, but with like a Daisy dress on, and that makes me happy. Sorry, go on with your thing.
Moving on. So Gotham has been renewed for season 3. Now, very rarely do I talk about renewals because there's really not much to say. Because plenty of shows got renewed recently, but we didn't talk about all of them. But the reason I want to bring this up is because I want this show to keep going, and Steve does not agree with me on this, but I want Gotham to keep going so they can reach Batman. That's what I want. I want them to take the whiny little Bruce Wayne that they have, and I want them to have him go away for like a season or two, and then come back, and I want the early beginnings of Batman. That's what I want.
You're wrong.
Why is that? Why are you so against this? Okay, now, I was trying to say this before, but you kept interrupting me. Can you imagine, I think it'd be really interesting to have a Batman origin story, like a very early beginnings of Batman, from the perspective of the cops. From Gordon's perspective, as he's dealing with this new vigilante. He isn't sure what to do about him. He never kills, and that's great, but he's still a vigilante, and he still beats the crud out of people. And if we were approaching Batman from the perspectives of anyone other than Batman, I think that could be a really interesting story. I think they could do a lot of really cool things with that. While still have plenty of awesome Batman action scenes.
Fine, maybe. Not Gotham, though.
Why not?
Adam, do you remember when I told you about Gotham the first time?
Yeah.
Do you remember how I said that it's a great show if you take all the Batman parts out of it?
Yeah.
That's why. If you make that show about Batman, it's no longer Gotham, and that just reinforces how utterly terrible it is as a Batman property. That's a wonderful show as a cop drama, not as a Batman show. And first and second of all, unrelated to the other thing, what you saying for doing the time jump thing to making Batman 25 years older is the laziest of writing.
What is the problem?
You know how dumb Smallville ended was when they finally got to put the Superman suit on? And that was the end of the show? Well, that was the end of Smallville. He gets the Superman suit, and now we realize he's going to be Superman. That was it. That was the end of the show. That's why it's going to be stupid.
That's not what I want to see, though. I don't want to see...
I don't want to see a Batman show,
I
Adam.
don't want Gotham to end with Bruce Wayne returning to Gotham. You see him wearing the awesome Batman suit one time, and then that's the end of the show. That's not how I want it to end.
No, you want something even worse.
I want an entire
you want
season
him to stick around
dedicated
and
to
the show.
Dedicated to Batman learning how to be Batman.
No,
he has like a early prototype version of the suit, and he's constantly modifying it, and he's just like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like this. He's still learning how to approach.
That's Arrow. We had that already.
Kind of is Arrow, yeah. I'm kind of imagining Arrow, I'm imagining Arrow, but it's Batman from the perspective of the cops. That's kind of what I'm envisioning in my head for what Gotham could eventually become.
And that's fine as a different show, maybe, but it cannot be Gotham.
Why
Gotham
not?
is its own thing that already has almost nothing to do with Batman. It has names of people that are in Batman, and that's it. These characters are nothing like Batman. When he grows up to be Batman, all his villains are going to be like 60 years old. He's going to be punching out 60-year-old Penguin.
Penguin is like, what, in his 20s?
Yeah.
So you fast forward, 10 years? And
Fine.
then you have, and
then
then he's going to be like in his 30s? Oh, gosh.
Whatever.
How could they do that?
Fine. It doesn't matter, though, because the point is it would be stupid. You can't do it, Adam. You can't have Batman in Gotham. As ridiculous as that sounds, you can't have Batman in Gotham.
I really think that they can do it.
Well, you're wrong.
And that's what I want that show to be. I don't want a cop drama. I've seen cop dramas.
But this is a good one, though. This is a good show.
It's an okay one. It's pretty good.
So why do you want to ruin it?
I don't want to ruin it. I want it to become something
you don't know you want
to
ruin it, but that's what you're trying to do.
We're never going to agree on this.
No, we're not, Adam. Because I'm right and you're wrong. And
no,
you're
wrong. You are incorrect
you're
on
wrong.
This.
Absolutely 100% wrong.
We're just going to... I'm
ridiculous.
No, we're done.
Fine.
We're done. No,
Fine.
No.
Fine.
I love you.
If you think that I'm right, like, comment, subscribe.
I love you, Steve.
Thanks,
it's okay.
Adam. Okay.
It's okay. I don't blame you for being wrong about Gotham.
I can't blame you for being wrong either, Adam. You don't know any better.
All right, fine.
I try to educate you. You fight me all the way.
I do indeed. Killing Joke has been announced officially now. It was rumored before.
Animated.
Yeah,
Very
sorry, I
important.
should say that more clearly. Yes, an animated Killing Joke movie, and DC always does a good job on the animated movies, which is
true,
except for Son of Batman.
I don't know why you didn't like Son of Batman.
It
wasn't the best one.
It was profoundly underwhelming, and I didn't like the voices of pretty much anybody. I didn't like Batman's voice. I
don't know what that actor's name is, but he's the guy that does most of the Batman voices now.
He's not Batman to me. And I really didn't like Deathstroke's voice. It didn't feel like Deathstroke to me.
What feels like Deathstroke? Slade from Teen Titans?
A little bit. Kind of, sort of. And I guess the guy who plays him in Arrow was pretty good. I'm okay with that. It was a little over the top with the accent, because sometimes it was hard to understand what he was saying, but I thought he played the part well, so that was fine.
So yes, Killing Joke animated movie.
Killing Joke
I'm excited.
Movie. I'm excited too. And the best part about this Killing Joke anime movie, tying back to what I was saying about Son of Batman, Mark Hamill is the Joker and Kevin Conroy is Batman, are both come back. We have the true Batman and Joker, both of them coming back, joining together to do the Killing Joke. And I think this is like the bajillionth time that Mark Hamill has said, this is the last time I'm going to be Joker. Because he said
I don't know why he would ever say that.
I don't know why he keeps doing it, because he said that about Arkham City, then he said that about Arkham Knight, and now he's saying it about Killing Joke. But he's also going to be remember that it was like Justice League Action? He's going to be a Joker in that too. And so is Kevin Conroy. He's going to be Batman. So I don't know why they're both acting like, oh no, I have to keep walking away from this part that everyone loves me in. But then they just always come back. They always want to do it again because they are those parts, and they've been doing it for so long that it's just what
you
they're
don't
good at.
have Mark Hamill being Joker. You wind up with Brent Spiner being Joker,
and then it's
which
terrible.
is a disaster.
And then it's just.
Nothing against Brent Spiner. I love me some Mr. Data.
Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with screaming because I remember the terrible portrayal of Joker in Young Justice. That's an exaggeration.
He was only in there for 3 episodes.
I think it was only 1 or 2. I think wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a lot of them.
It wasn't enough.
It was really not important.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't. It was too much. If they had just had Joker be there and never spoken, that would have been fine. If he had just laughed once in a while.
I disagree. I think Joker talking is half of his thing. He's twisted, and you need to hear that come across in his dialogue.
But
if he
not
didn't talk at all
like that.
Well, not Brent Spiner.
not Brent Spiner.
Again, Love me some Brent Spiner. Not as Joker though.
Wait, is Brent Spiner?
Mr. Data.
Wait, he was Data?
Yes.
Oh, in my brain, for some reason, I was thinking of Wesley. I was thinking of that.
No, not
guy.
Wesley.
I love Brent Spiner, but yeah, oof. Anyway, Killing Joke.
Yes. That's really exciting, actually, because the DC ones have been getting away with being darker, which is good because they won't neuter this story like they probably would have had to otherwise a couple years ago. Yeah. Which is cool. So I'm not worried about that. And they got the good guys.
They got the best voice actors.
See, what confuses me is where this falls in line with the animated movie continuity, because some of them are related to each other and some of them aren't, which is kind of annoying. But
I haven't seen a whole lot of them. So.
Well, because all right, the Justice League Year One thing and Aquaman, those are like direct sequelage, so those are related.
Okay, that's cool.
And I think what's it called? Batman Incorporated, which I haven't seen yet. But
is that a movie?
Yeah.
I thought that was a movie. I thought that was a TV show.
I don't think that one's related. I think that one's related to the Son of Batman timeline thing. I'm having trouble because there's like two different guys that do the main
I'll
Batman
say that
voice.
Son of Batman wasn't terrible. It was just very much underwhelming. Like it didn't.
Well, I don't know what you expected from it.
I don't know. I don't know what I expected. That's the thing. I went in with really no expectations, but then it was just like whatever. Like, I guess I had just finished Young Justice and I wanted like almost more of that.
There's a follow up to the Son of Batman. It's the Court of Owls one. That one's pretty good.
Oh, I'm willing to try that out.
But if you didn't like Damian like as a character, you're not going to like the Court of Owls.
I didn't. The only thing I liked Damian as a character. The only thing I didn't like about Damian as a character was at the very. Have you seen Son of Batman?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. The only thing I didn't like about Damian as a character was at the very end when he like just chose not to kill Deathstroke because why?
Because Batman wouldn't do it.
Yeah, except he at no point in any other point in that movie shown any interest in being Batman.
Well, that was his turning point then.
So his turning. So no, it was out of character.
That was his ultimate.
No, that was his ultimate test. It completely went against how the character had been established thus far in the movie. It was
well, at the risk of sounding like you, is it against the rules for people to change now?
Well, no, I guess, but I wish that they had done. They should have done more of that before that point. They should have had him actually seem like he was interested in being.
Well, that
like
was the
dad.
ultimate test, though. That was the moment whether he chooses to be like Batman or be like Talia.
Yeah, and I guess they did a little bit of it when he kept looking at the Robin suit, like almost longingly, and then
I like that even nowadays they keep Dick Grayson's original like silly tiny
I liked how
shorts
they made
and
fun of it.
Pointy shoes. Yeah,
I liked how even he was just like, yeah, it looks a little flamboyant, don't you think?
Yeah.
And Nightwing's just like, no, you shut up.
Yeah. I do like how they keep that around. They didn't change it retroactively. They left it as like goofy as it was before.
Yeah,
I like that about it. I'm
too.
glad it never comes out again though.
Oh gosh, that'd be horrible.
But I'm glad that they kept it around. Because I like Damian's Robin suit just fine.
Oh yeah.
Actually, all the Robins after Dick had perfectly fine Robin suits.
Yeah, they did. I really like Tim Drake's. That one's probably my favorite one. Though I really did like the hood on Damian's. I thought that was neat. I was like, yeah.
Hoods are cool. Lots of people have hoods now.
Yeah, hoods. Hoods is where it's
Shazam
at.
has a hood now.
Oh yeah,
Green
that's
Arrow
weird.
has a hood now.
Well, Green Arrow should have a hood if you ask me.
Why?
I don't know. Because I always think of Arrow.
Because hoods are cool.
Because hoods are cool.
Hoods are cool.
Because Assassin's Creed, that's
Yes,
why.
because
I
Adam.
like hoods.
Because
okay?
Adam, yes.
Just shut up and I like hoods. Like how I like Spider-Gwen. Because she looks
has a hood,
like,
yes.
like a spider assassin. And so that's cool.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she?
She does, indeed. But yeah, Killing Joke, very excited.
Yeah, very excited.
I actually almost want to, if they do it in theaters, I don't know if they do.
They never do the animated ones in theaters.
They never do? Okay.
Although with that one, they probably could get away with it because people would probably go see Mark Hamill.
I think people would want to see that.
Plus, Killer Joke is like one of the most famous Batman stories ever.
See, I've heard about Killer Joke. Everyone always talks about how Killer Joke is like the most amazing thing ever. But I don't really know much about it. You told me a little bit about it earlier, like before the show started, which is cool. But I don't know. I would love to see it. Like I almost want to go see the movie, knowing very little about what the storyline is.
I wouldn't want to like spoil it for folks who haven't seen it.
That's fine.
But like, it's where we get Oracle.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So if you played the Arkham games, that person.
Yes. So now we move on finally to non-movie things.
Hooray!
Yay!
Took us a bit.
Yeah. So Microsoft and Sony are in discussions. Like, and that's all it is. It's
well,
just
no, they
talking.
opened
Well,
the floor for discussions.
Yeah. So Sony is, or not Sony, I'm doing it backwards. Microsoft is working on having some cross-platform online support, like between PC and Xbox,
Yes.
for some games,
Yes.
like specifically Rocket League.
Yeah, that was the one that they mentioned by name.
Yes, but I'm sure that they'd be willing to do others if it worked out well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so they're kind of working on that. They're talking about it. And then they kind of invited Sony to join in. Like, hey, you want to talk? You want to discuss this? And then Sony was just like, yeah, we can talk about it. We can say something about it, just backdoor meetings.
The biggest, dumbest smile on my face when I read this the first time, because this is one of those things that I called would never happen.
Yep.
And now I get
kind
to
of
be,
like
and now I
Spider-Man,
get to be right now and
like,
feel good about it.
Yeah, this is exactly like this. This feels almost. I feel like it's like a rewind of the Sony, Disney discussions about Spider-Man from like 2 years ago, when they were talking about having Spider-Man be in the MCU, and I distinctly remember you sitting there being the negative Nelly that you are,
and
talking about how it was impossible.
And I got to be pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
Like pessimism allows me to do. So once again, I get to be pleasantly surprised about how wonderful this thing is, because this is a huge if, but still. This is exactly what I want and what games councils should have been doing all along.
Yes, they should. Yeah, they should connect to each other. The one thing I can say about it is that I've actually read that Microsoft had looked into doing something like this before, but they were having a problem because PC players consistently won over Xbox players for whatever. I don't remember the exact game they were playing, but they were doing like private testing of it.
Interesting.
And for whatever reason, PC always won. I think it was maybe it was something to do with like the controls or something. I don't know. I wish I remember what game that was that they were testing, but
that's interesting.
They talked about it before. They've dealt with this before. I think that's why they're starting with Rocket League, because it doesn't give an advantage to any one control scheme.
Yeah.
So
and it's huge right now.
Yeah, it's like super popular, which I don't get.
The perfect thing. You know how annoying it is to not be able to play with Xbox people because I went and bought a PS4?
Yes.
Really
yes,
annoying.
I do. It's really frustrating.
Annoying.
Yeah.
All of my friends have Xbox Ones, and you never want to play.
Whenever I go on, I feel like all I ever do nowadays is just watch Netflix. I watch Netflix so much. And so, and I don't know, there haven't been any games I've been really, dying to play recently.
Well, find one.
But all the games I want to play aren't online, or aren't multiplayer. I know.
Be social. Go play outside, and by that I mean play from your home
in the
with
online,
other
the play outside in the cyber world. Yeah.
But this is awesome, because now if this takes off, hypothetically, super huge hypothetically, but if this takes off, people don't have to buy a console based on loyalty anymore. You can just buy one on what hardware you want.
I know. Or
which is so good.
Or they could do it based on exclusives.
Well, that's the thing. That's actually a part of the thing I read, though, is people are assuming that if they do connect together, exclusives are going to become even worse, because they're going to have to find some way to differentiate their products.
Yeah.
Which, I get it, I guess, but for the majority of things, I feel like most exclusive play things, and this is not 100% of the case, but I feel like a lot of exclusive things are solo play anyway. At least on the PlayStation side.
On the PlayStation, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
On the
Xbox ones,
no.
like Gears and Halo, they're on.
They got Gears,
and
you got Halo,
fine.
you got Titanfall.
Yeah.
You got.
I don't see that. I don't care. That's fine. Let them have that.
Yeah.
But for the cross-platform ones, for the things that come out for all the consoles.
Yeah. I think it should be cross-platform.
There's no reason it couldn't be.
It'd be awesome.
And all the controllers are functionally the same.
Yeah.
And just don't make any controls matched to the stupid touchpad thing on the PlayStation, and then you have nothing to worry about.
No one likes those anyway.
Exactly.
Literally no one.
They're really annoying.
Yeah, they're frustrating.
Dude, the thing from Infamous.
Infamous is the worst with it.
It's the Second Son. That was horrible. Hate that.
Everything. Oh my gosh. I liked Second Son. I thought it was fine.
It was fine. Fine's a good word.
Yeah, it was yes, this is
a launch title would have been a better definition, though.
Yeah. To tie back into Young Justice again, I was whelmed by it. I was just I'm content, I suppose.
I'm finishing it, but I'm not happy about it.
I platinumed it, actually.
You have a problem, Adam.
Yeah.
Anywho, So PlayStation and Xbox, if they do decide, Nintendo wasn't invited to these discussions.
They
But
shouldn't be anyway.
They
Come
wouldn't have
on.
even agreed anyway.
Because Nintendo's going to be like, what you mean, like with the 3 games that
Yeah,
we
exactly.
have that tie into
Exactly.
other platforms?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, why?
But
the
even
point?
between Xbox and PS4, like there's no reason they can't meet together. This is probably a saving move for Xbox because they're the ones that are hurting right now.
Yeah, they are.
This is probably the one for them to try to come back from the dead. But
Actually-
this
would
is
it
so
be?
exciting.
But actually, would it be? Because, I mean, think about it. Like, the big saving grace of the Xbox, at least right now, is their exclusives. Because on the PS4, there really isn't all that much good exclusives. The closest thing you have is Infamous Second Son, and that was not much of anything.
But okay, here's how I look at it. When you have things that are their own entity, like the Xbox and the PS4, they are competitors in the sense that they have to keep their price the same because,
Close,
they
yeah.
do different things, but essentially they're the same.
Yeah,
but if
really
they
are.
connect together, say like, how 2 PCs could connect together, you can buy a cheaper PC and have access to things the expensive PC can do, and that can be this cheaper PC saving grace that costs less money. Xbox might be hurting right now because they're the same price as PS4, and at least as far as I'm concerned, the PS4's hardware is better.
Yeah.
Others might disagree. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But if the Xbox, say, were to lower its price once they are connected, they would make up their sales again because
Potentially,
if
yeah.
people only wanted it to play with other people, because this doubles the market of people you can play with, and that's double the servers and all that.
I think this-
if they did that, then that's fine.
Plus, Xbox really does have some like the Halo is such a huge thing, and from what I've heard, the new ones are pretty good. Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
I don't think people really cared for 4 or 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
I know I didn't,
Oh, well, man,
but
I
I'm
could be
cynical,
wrong.
so...
I see. All I ever hear about is people talking about Halo, like Halo.
Yeah.
And I've never played any of them.
There's going to be a Gears of War 4, too.
Oh yeah, that's true. But like, if you look on the Sony side, literally the one thing that anyone's excited about is Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
They're like it.
Well, that is the PlayStation game, though.
It is. But like, there isn't any God of Wars that have been announced.
That's fine.
I've heard rumors that they're working on more, but there's nothing that's been officially confirmed.
Well, it's just okay. Well, like
Like,
they,
what
they
else
don't
is there?
need it though because they're on top. They don't
Yeah,
care.
I mean, I guess that's true.
Exclusives come out when you're losing.
Yeah, kind of true. That's almost exactly what the PS3 did. Now that I think about it, the PS3 was the lesser of the two between that and the 360. Like, I'm not saying I preferred the PS3, but sales wise, the PS3 was the hurting one compared to the 360, and the PS3 had way better exclusives, like way better than the only thing 360 had back then was Gears of War and Halo.
I had both. I had the 360 and the PS3, and my PS3 pretty much existed exclusively, ironically, for exclusives. And
That's funny.
yeah, because any game I played with other people that I cared about or that I just wanted like for my personal profiles or whatever, it was Xbox. Because my friends had Xbox, I played Xbox with other people. The only things, because PS3 is pretty much solo play anyway, because there's no online game that I really cared about.
Yeah.
I mean, I had online because it was free back then.
Yeah, I miss those days.
Yeah. What a time. What a time to be alive. But, I didn't really play anything online in the PS3 because I had nothing to play with.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter. Except for the PlayStation Home. Which is
did
not
that?
a game. Which is not a game.
Yeah, I never did that.
It's like The Sims, but worse. But anyway, the crux is, this is going to be amazing if this takes off.
Yes.
Because this is such
That
a
is
big
true.
deal. And if they can actually, put aside, I don't care if they're competitors, and I know this is going to just make more exclusives and it's going to be stupid and that's all going to be horrible. But if I can play a game that exists on both consoles with people on the other console, that's wonderful. Actually, if PC people can get involved too, then bully, because whatever, that's fine too.
that sounds fine.
I don't mind if PC people get involved.
Yeah, that's fine.
If
Just
you're gonna
bring
buy
it
a
all in, yeah.
But if you're buying a console which exclusively exists to play games, you have to be able to play all the games with
I
other
agree.
people.
No, I think it would be a great idea. I love the idea. So,
Yeah,
we are going to move on now.
That's fine.
Steve.
That's fine.
We're going to move on to my humble opinion.
Okay.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll try to. So for my humble opinion, because 2 days ago was the next 25-day mark in my hashtag 25 days of Star Wars coverage. I decided to read. I was going to do a comic book, but then I just decided not to because I don't know. I decided to read Lords of the Sith, which is a cute little novel, and I liked it. Sort of.
Strong.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult because The name makes it like the Lords of the Sith. What the novel is supposed to be about is Darth Vader and Chancellor Palpatine, or I shouldn't say Chancellor, Emperor Palpatine, being those two and exploring that relationship a bit. And when they do explore that, it's really interesting. They kind of go into some of like the detail of like how the Sith relationship works. It's actually kind of cool. Basically, the master in a Sith relationship is expected to show strength and knowledge. And the apprentice is expected to be absolutely loyal, like almost to a fault. However, as soon as one of those two doesn't give that to the other, they have to kill you. As soon as the master no longer is powerful or no longer has any knowledge for the apprentice's job is to try to kill them. That
seems like a good way to shore up the numbers.
Well, yeah, it's very common for there to be very, very few Sith, because what Sith pride more than anything else in the entire world, it's almost like a natural selection times a bajillion, because they prize power over everything.
Yeah.
So if the apprentice is more powerful than the master, the apprentice is the new master. They kill the master, and then this new master's job is to find a new apprentice, train them in the ways, and if that new apprentice ever gets stronger than that master, they have to step up.
What a dumb system.
Well,
it's like praying mantises trying to get laid.
Well, the reason it exists is because it's trying to, you take someone who's strong, and then they make someone who's even stronger, and then that person's even stronger, and then whoever's stronger than that person is stronger than that, and it's like a ladder.
But the assumption is when you train your student, they will eventually get better than you, and then they will kill you.
Yes.
So you have to assume you will always be stronger than your student, and just hope that they never turn on you.
Pretty much, yeah.
What a dumb system.
It's all about power, and the Sith are often,
I get it.
And the Sith masters are often perfectly content with their apprentices trying to kill them. But what their job is to be as strong as humanly possible. It's all about power. They have to always be in complete control.
Well, you
always
only
be
get
strong.
one shot at that, though. If you attempt to kill your master guy and
then they
fail,
kill,
then kill you.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Well, this
that's the
seems
thing is
pretty dumb.
as the apprentice. You can't go off. You can't try to kill your master until you're ready, or until the master is gotten too weak for them to be.
How
there
have
to
the
ever be
Jedi
any
not
chance.
wiped these guys out yet?
Because they're always craving power. Because they're always so incredibly powerful.
There could only be like 6 of them at any given time.
Well,
if you just
sometimes
get every Jedi together.
Well, not necessarily, because sometimes masters will have more than one apprentice at a time. Palpatine did that. Palpatine had like Darth Maul and Dooku almost exactly at the same time, and then in the Star Wars in the Darth Vader comic, he has a few other apprentices as well, besides Darth Vader, and it's almost like a very fierce competition between them. Like they're constantly.
Why aren't they killing each other?
Oh, they do, but that's the thing is. It's the same thing with Palpatine. It's like if you kill the other one, that's fine, but if you attempt to kill them and fail, then you can be punished for that. It's all about loyalty. It's all about loyalty until you're powerful enough to beat the other, and then all bets are off, and you gotta take them down. It's an interesting relationship, and I really like that aspect of the book when they explore it. The big problem with the book is that they don't spend a whole lot of time exploring that. The book is called Lords of the Sith, and most of the book is about this Twi'lek rebellion, and the Twi'leks are the aliens that you see sometimes in Star Wars with like the twin ponytail tentacle things coming off of their heads.
Like from the animated series, the
Clone Wars?
Clone Wars, yeah. Luke's apprentice was one of those.
Yes.
Anakin's apprentice, sorry.
Well,
Anakin's
actually,
apprentice.
technically she was a different species, but it's
Was
similar
she?
to... Yes, she's not technically a Twi'lek, but
Well,
it's
don't
very
call me
similar.
an alien racist then.
It's
They all
very
look the
similar.
same.
I know. But it's very similar to that. What is kind of cool about it is that the Twi'leks that are there, there's one in particular who's the leader, who's like one of the main guys. His name is Cham Syndulla, and he actually is in the Clone Wars, like the TV show, and he's also in Rebels for like one episode. He's kind of like this recurring guest star, and that's actually really cool that they did that.
You think when they come up with these names, they just like take a fistful of like magnetic letters and throw them at a wall? It's like, okay,
It's very possible.
Cham Syndulla. Great.
Well,
That
yeah,
guy.
one of his second in command is like Ishvar, I believe her name is, or Isvar, and she's really cool. She's actually one of my favorites. One of my favorite characters in the whole book is because she's this murderous, rebellious like rebel, it's really cool because she's like obsessed with killing Imperial people. Like she's like practically a serial killer at this point. Like she used to be a slave, like a sex slave, and she'll like go into like the sex slave dungeon, like pretending to be that again, and then she'll like isolate one of the Imperials, off doing their thing with one of these other slaves, and then she'll kill them and free the slave and be like, all right, let's go. She does that almost like she does that like for fun. And she has like a compulsion to do so. She talks about how she feels like it's almost like a drug. Like she feels like she can't focus on anything until she's done that. Recently, it's really weird. She's like she is so full of hate for Imperials that like if she goes too long without killing one of them, then she gets like jitters.
She gets the Jonesin for a kill.
Yeah, she gets Jonesin for an Imperial kill. It's kind of cool. I really like her. But like the whole plot of the book, and I would say that the first half of the book was really, really good, and the second half kind of got lame. It picked up right near the end, but the whole book is about Ryloth, which is the Twi'lek homeworld, and these people who they're members of the Free Ryloth movement, and they're basically just rebels. But instead of being rebels on a galactic scale, they're only rebels for this one planet. All they care about is their homeworld. So they don't care about anything else. And then they intercept this message that Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader will be coming to Ryloth, which almost never happens. The two of them are almost never in the same place at the same time, except for on Coruscant. And Coruscant is like almost completely impossible to take down because it's like so full of security. So for once, Palpatine and Darth Vader are both going to be on this planet together at the same time, where the security is going to be much less. And then these rebels have to decide whether or not they want to do anything about that and try to take him down. And of course they do, because it was just too good an opportunity to pass up, which is actually, spoiler alert, this book has been out for a while, so I'm just going to spoil this. You find this out near the end. That was Palpatine's plan all along. He wanted the rebels to attack because he knew that they were there, but he knew that they weren't yet powerful enough to actually do any real damage. They did take down this Star Destroyer, which was like a huge deal because it was the first time that it ever happened, but that wasn't enough. Because Palpatine and Darth Vader escaped in this escape pod, and like
that must have been an awkward trip.
A little bit.
What do you think Darth Vader and Palpatine do for fun?
Oh, nothing. They do not have fun. Darth Vader is like obsessed with like hate and pain, and like he uses like he's in like constant pain because of like the burns he has, and he uses that as fuel to like tie into the dark side of the Force, which is kind of depressing and horrible. Like they don't
right, but I mean like when he's just sitting around the escape pod with Palpatine, like sitting across from him, like 2 feet away.
Well,
do you think they like?
It wasn't that simple. The Star Destroyer, the Star Destroyer had just blown up, and Darth Vader was piloting as he was like trying to dodge rebels still trying to attack him, even in this tiny little escape pod. So there wasn't like a point where they were just kind of sitting there in the quiet. Like they were constantly on the run, Darth Vader and Palpatine. And Palpatine,
I know they're almost never in the same room because like the hologram and whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like take your apprentice to work day or whatever would have been a really awkward experience for them because neither of them would say anything. You know, it's like having a stepdad that you don't actually like.
They have some interesting conversations because Palpatine, like I talked about with their relationship, Palpatine is always trying to teach Vader something new. Like, because as soon as Palpatine
How about shooting force lightning? He never learned that one.
They actually do explain that he can't. Darth Vader can't, because if he theoretically he could. He's never tried, because if he did, it would short out his suit.
Oh,
yeah,
that's convenient.
Yeah, well, that was actually intentional. It was one of those. It was one of the things that Palpatine did to try to stop Vader from getting too powerful. Because if Vader got too powerful, then he could kill Palpatine.
Like the end of the Clone Wars game. Did you ever play that?
I did.
There's like the alternate ending where Anakin wins the fight against Obi-Wan.
Wait. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
And then he kills Palpatine like immediately.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's just like that. It's, if you're the more powerful one, you kill the less powerful one. It's cool. The first half of this book, though, is about the rebels. Like first, they find out about Palpatine and Darth Vader being on their planet, and then they're planning and and eventually taking down this Star Destroyer. And they do it this really cool way. Like, they have, like, all these mines set up outside, like, in space. But some of the mines are designed to, like, break holes into the shields of the Star Destroyer. And then they have these drone ships fly in and just crash directly into the Star Destroyer, and they're full of these buzz droids that like break into the Star Destroyer and just wreak havoc everywhere. Like, they really do a number on this Star Destroyer with like actually not that much resources, which is really, really cool. And then like the Star Destroyer isn't down for the count. It's still flying strong, even though it's heavily damaged. And so then they like send for reinforcements from the planet, and then three of the repair teams, and then three of the repair teams, because there's like hundreds of them, are rebels. And then like they go in and they like set bombs in the engine room, and then that blows up the whole thing, and like it completely destroys the Star Destroyer.
Nice.
And, oh man, it was really exciting. It was really fun to listen to. Read. And I didn't know exactly what was going on all the time. We as the reader weren't always fully aware of what the rebels' plan was. It was really, oh man, it was just exciting. It was just a blast.
Okay.
But then,
no pun intended.
But then as soon as they land, because like the Star Destroyer is blowing up and everyone evacuates, or everyone's left, because like hundreds and thousands of Imperials died because of those buzz droids I mentioned. Mm-hmm. But as soon as they escape from this from this exploding Star Destroyer, and they land on the ground like Palpatine and Darth Vader do, that's where things kind of fall off the wagon and things get really boring, because the rest of the book is basically just Palpatine and Vader running away from pursuing rebels and like killing local wildlife, because all the wildlife is trying to kill them. And there's like, I kid you not, 5 pages of material where, where all that Vader and Palpatine do is they're just killing all of these like weird tentacle creatures, which are apparently like the apex predators on this planet. And then they like go into their and they go into like their lair, and then they kill all the rest of them. And it's just endless pages of just like, and then Vader stabbed his lightsaber into the head of the lilac, and then blah, 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 blah. It's just endless. It's just, like, yes, Vader and Palpatine, they're both really crazy, stupid, powerful, and they're killing animals. Like, that's all you need to know. And they do that for like 5 pages, and you're just like, oh my god, let's go. And meanwhile, the rebels are like desperately trying to find them down so they can try to kill them, but they have no chance to kill them, like, at all. And it just gets really boring, and I'm really upset about it, because the book had been so good up until that point, and then it just really just got dull. And what eventually happens is the book gets a little bit more interesting later, when Vader and Palpatine find this tiny little Twi'lek like settlement, like this tiny little village, and this village doesn't even know who they are, because they're so far out of the loop. They don't have a communicator. They're like Native Americans practically, and so Vader and Palpatine are just sitting in this village, just this is nice, whatever. And the only reason they're doing it is because they know that the other Twi'leks aren't going to try to kill them while they're inside this village of other Twi'leks, like the rebels, that is. Mm-hmm. And they're just waiting for their ride to show up. And meanwhile, there's this like side plot with there's like this Imperial coup where one of the Imperials named Belcor was feeding information to the rebels, but he didn't realize just how powerful they were. And then the rebels use that to blackmail him. And it's not bad, but it's kind of dull, and the book really is not bad, but I was constantly questioning what the point was in this book. I was constantly sitting there being like, so, okay, like, not that this is bad exactly, but like, what's really the point? Why am I here? Like, what does this add? And the only thing it really adds is it gives us more context about Vader and Palpatine's relationship. But that's only in like a third of the book. The other 2/3 of the book is about these rebels. And you know that the rebels are going to fail. Obviously, they're not going to kill Vader and Palpatine because they didn't die. We know that. So, like, they spend so much time on this false drama where, like, they're trying to win. And it's not badly written. It's exciting and everything, but you know the outcome from the get-go, and it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating because it's just like
the problem with all prequel material.
Yeah, it's a prequel, and it's really frustrating that they spend so much time on it. Like, obviously they needed to spend some time on it, but I feel like if they had spent at least half of the book exploring Vader and Palpatine's relationship instead of this forced drama with the Twi'leks, who are really interesting characters, I like all of them. It's just it really hurt the book knowing what the outcome was going to be, but the book kept acting like I didn't know.
Maybe you've never seen the movies before.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't know what Star Wars is.
Yeah, right? But all of that being said, and I know that was kind of a long thing, it was good. I would say that it wasn't... I would say it's slightly better than Aftermath, that other book I read, if only because Aftermath, was almost nonsensical sometimes, where it was so confusing, where there's so many storylines happening at the same time, whereas this one was really simple. It was just these rebels are trying to take down the Star Destroyer, and then they're trying to kill the Emperor and Vader. That's it. There's really not much else going on. There's a couple other subplots, but nothing super important. That is the core main plot, and it's easy to follow, and it's fun to read, even if you know the outcome. So I'm going to say that this one's better than Aftermath, but not by much. And if I had to give it a rating, I would say I'd give it 7.5.
At the end of this, you should put them in order, so of best to worst.
Yeah, best to worst. I only have 2 books so far.
Well, I know, but after your whole spiel of
I will.
Nonsensical Star Wars rubbish. Quality literature.
Fine. So yeah, I would say right now my ranking so far for the novels, because I'm going to rank the comics and the novels separately because they're different mediums and it's hard to rank them otherwise. So I would say Lords of the Sith is so slightly better than Aftermath, but I like Aftermath for different reasons, and I dislike Aftermath for other different reasons. So Lords of the Sith is better than Aftermath, but it still wasn't quite what I was looking for. It didn't quite satisfy my itch for Star Wars.
You're jonesing for it?
Yeah, I'm still jonesing for Star. I'm still jonesing for that Imperial kill. So, and that's about it for me this time.
Alrighty, moving on to me then, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Welcome to another episode of Steve Needs to Find a New Hobby, where he talks about his newest anime that he wasted his life on.
Yep.
I actually saw 2, and I was umming and erring about which one I should pick for this, because there was one that was really awkward, and one that was really good, and I didn't know which one to pick. I went with the awkward one.
Great.
Because the good one, I would just been gushing about how awesome it was.
What was the good one?
Your Lie in April.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It's on Netflix, actually.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Really, really good.
Maybe I should try it after Daredevil.
Yeah, after all the other 9
other
things
I need to watch.
Yeah. All right. So the one that I did wind up picking is called Brothers Conflict, and it is about a family, or a dad and his daughter, who marries a mom and her 13 sons, and she moves in with them. I'm going to give you a minute to see where that's going.
Okay, wait. Say this again.
Okay, there's a dad and his daughter.
Dad and daughter, got
and
it.
the dad marries a mom who has 13 sons.
Oh,
and
no.
then the daughter
no.
moves into...
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No,
I'm going to give you a minute to figure out where that's headed.
No. They're all... Oh,
She
God.
also has a talking squirrel that only she can hear.
Are you sure she's not just insane?
No, because one of the other brothers can hear it too.
Oh.
But she has a talking squirrel, which she actually has a weird dream about being a human at one point who also hits on her. It's very bizarre. So yeah, basically how this works is she is moving into this home and just tears it apart. Because these guys are, for some reason, all of her new stepbrothers really want to get at that. Like, really bad. And I'm not sure what the legality of stepbrother to sister is, but they really want it for some reason. And they are, like, physically confronting each other about it. They're having a hard time. But before I get to that, I want to discuss how many people, like voice actors, there are in this. Because for some reason, there only seem to be, like, 10 male voice actors in the entire dubbing universe. So the blonde guy from Oran is in here as a brother.
Of course.
The glasses guy from Oran is in here as a brother.
Wait. The blonde guy. Wait, you mean like freaking what's his name?
The head guy, the one who calls him his dad all the time.
So you mean
I don't know the names.
Full Metal Alchemist guy?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I was putting it in terms that you know the best. Whatever.
Sorry.
Glasses dude from Oran's also in here.
Of course.
Usopp from One Piece is in here.
I haven't seen One Piece.
Zolo from One Piece is in here.
Okay.
Death the Kid from Soul Eater is in here.
All right.
The blonde fella from Seven Deadly Sins is in here.
I haven't seen that either.
It's really annoying though because he plays the youngest brother, who's not into her. Thank goodness, 'cause he's like 9.
Great.
But they go up to like 35. So it's a really huge range here.
Wait.
Because there's 13 of them, right? But they all they all look at the same age, except for like 2 of them, like the oldest and the youngest. But
weird.
Whatever. So the youngest one.
How old is the girl?
17-ish.
How old is the oldest?
High school anime. Old.
Is he interested in her too?
Only sort of. He doesn't blatantly hit on her like the rest of them do, except the second oldest one does in a very sexual harassment sort of way.
Great.
But I don't think he's serious. I think he's just being a doof about it, but that's not important. We're going to get to that in a minute.
All right, go ahead.
Last one, the guy from Seven Deadly Sins is in it, right? But he makes his voice higher, like artificially, just they told him make your voice high, and it sounds horrible. Because he already has a really high voice. So it's like, if he just talks like this all the time, and it's like that, it's grating. It's the worst. But yeah, and there's somebody in there who I believe is Nolan North. I didn't actually,
oh my gosh.
I didn't actually check the
I
credits,
really hope
but
it
it
is.
sounds a lot like him. And I wanted to leave that
I like
mystery for
Nolan
myself.
North being in everything. I like when I'm just like, oh my god, that's Nolan North, son of a gun.
Yeah. But I didn't actually check the credits because I wanted that surprise for myself. I wanted that to be a mystery for me. But I'm pretty sure it was him. So yeah, like 90% of these brothers are into her, except for the youngest, the oldest, and the cross-dressing one. Oh, and the hairdresser one. The hairdresser one is the one that can hear the squirrel. And him and the squirrel form a coalition to protect her from the other brothers because this is a very strange show. Yeah, what are they called? I don't know, it doesn't matter. They're just a group of...
What's this show called again?
Brothers Conflict.
Okay. No, I'm just looking something up. You just go, keep on going, okay?
Okay. So it's interesting because like the brothers form like this perfect gradient of anime flotation. Like, okay, like not in order, but just like from one to the next. Like it starts on one end, there's the most extreme guy of like too nervous to look at her, have a conversation, and everything in between up until honest to God, super for real, actual rapist.
Did they, what?
Like,
did she actually get
no,
that
but
happened to her?
No,
okay, thank
but
God.
pretty close.
Oh, God.
Yeah, pretty. I don't know.
I was about to say, like, this sounds like a kind of silly,
Yes.
somewhat sexist anime.
I want to
but...
read for you some of the things he said, and you
Okay.
don't even need the context for them because they're that bad.
Okay.
So, first of all, you were asking for it.
Oh.
If you want to run, now's your chance.
Wow.
You won't even push me away. Maybe you don't want me to stop. And my personal favorite, I take what I want and I don't need your permission.
Wow.
These are actual things he
These
actually
are quotes.
said.
Things are direct quotes.
Yes, direct quotes of things he actually
my
said
God.
to her.
Keep going, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
okay.
didn't actually do anything to her, but he got pretty close. And all of the other brothers are just, actually, she got saved a couple of those times by one of the other ones. But she doesn't do anything about it. Like, you are in the danger
she,
zone.
Like, talk to her dad or something?
Both the parents don't live there because this is an anime.
What?
Yeah, they're on vacation or something. I forgot. I tuned that part out.
That's
but it's like call Goose to be your eyes because you're in the danger zone. Seriously. Like, okay. All the time with them, like that guy's the worst, right? Because that's obviously the most extreme example.
The worst,
That's the most extreme example. But the rest of them aren't much better. Like the one under that is like pretty forceful, but in a sort of like, I'm not going to do it without your permission, but I really, really, really need your permission, please. Like, it's crazy.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't interrupt you, but I have to know.
What?
Does she actually end up being?
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. Okay. So like, they go in the gradient, right? This like most extreme to nervous guy, and there's like in the middle, aside from the fact that they're all stepbrothers, there actually are some normal people in there. Some of them are just like, one of them is her classmate, and he knew her beforehand, and he's like, no, I don't accept you're my sister, blah, 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 I must have you, and all that, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
whatever.
This is cool.
And there's like, the third oldest brother, there's twins also, there's a pair of triplets, but only 2 identical ones, and they fight, their relationship gets torn apart because, they both want her and whatever, and then there's the third triplet one who's
this
like...
This just sounds uncomfortable to watch.
It is a very uncomfortable thing to watch. And then the third one's like, I must have you, but I know I'll wait for you, and it's like, dude, like, good Lord, man. So at the end of the show, At the end of the show, after all of that nonsense, she has to go around and just reject them all individually.
At the end of the show?
Yeah. Like, the last episode is pretty much her going around, like, not happening, not happening, not happening, like, to all of them.
Okay.
And they're all pretty much just like, no, I don't accept that. We're still going to fight over you. Like, the family's back together. They're not going to kill each other anymore. They've all forgiven each other. But at the same time, they're like, now it's a competition. Like, she's a prize to be won or something. And even the cross-dressing one throws his/her hat into the ring to get at that. Like, I'm watching this show, and I'm kind of like, there's going to be season 2 of this. I'm pretty sure.
Yep,
because that's what they're setting it up for. But it's like, also I hate the art style, but that's not irrelevant.
Yeah.
It just bothers me. They drew it weird. But it's like, wow. And then, like, the rapist guy, like, at the end, we're supposed to feel bad for him because he has the opportunity to rape her and then doesn't because he just loves her so huggy-muggy much.
Oh.
And it's like, what? It's like the same reaction I had in Freezing Vibration, where, did you ever see that show? Okay, well, there's a rapist in that, too.
Great.
And it turns out that except he does actually rape her.
Oh.
And it turns out he only raped her because he just loved her, and he didn't know how to express it.
This is reminding me of Jessica Jones, where it's just like,
yeah,
I raped you? What do you mean I raped you?
Yeah.
And it's like, you loved it. And it's like, I only loved it because you made me. Like,
with mind control.
Like, I feel like I should take a shower after listening to this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I went first, because this would have put me in a really foul mood to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah,
so.
it's really uncomfortable to watch. Especially since she's just like, I just want us to be like a family, you know? Like, of regular people. And they're just like, no, sorry, we all want to have your babies. And it's like, could you not, though? Like, could we maybe just live in the house and not have this problem every day? Oh, my God. It's so uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
It's like,
so
she's not entirely faultless because she could just leave.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to put up with any of this.
But she has to live there, doesn't she? Isn't she?
I would find a new place to go.
Yeah.
This is an unacceptable turn of events right here.
Do the parents ever find out anything about this, or?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Nobody tells them. I don't know what they expect to. I don't know what the legality of this is, but I don't know where they expect this to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you know, like if I also know what the intentional goal of this was, because, like, okay, say a bunch of they were all just friends, right?
Yeah.
And, like, a friend picks one of the friends. The other friends are going to be bitter about it, but they'll live on. But this is like, they're all brothers. So not only will she not be yours, which is fine because none of these people deserve her because, oh my God. But, like, if she picked one, now they're all just extra related to her. And that just makes it even more awkward. Like,
so she doesn't end up with any.
No.
Okay.
No, she says no to all of them because she's like, I don't want any part of this.
Good.
Although she has kissed like 7 of them because they started it, because they just come at her with it because, you know, they're all insane and emotionally distressed and whatever reasoning they're going to use.
This sounds.
Also, they toss around. This is just an anime in general problem, but they toss around the word love like
all the time.
All the time.
Yeah,
that
is such an anime trope.
Yeah,
it's
like,
funny.
Come on, dude. Like, no. You met her like a month ago.
Yeah.
Although there's like big time jumps, like there's just like assumed that she's been living there a while.
Okay.
Not like within a year, because it does start like the beginning of the school year and end at the end of the school year.
Okay, so it's
that's
like
kind of how it.
What, about approximately 9 months
or so? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how long she's been there. But it's like,
I mean, it's possible.
None of this is acceptable.
It's possible to fall in love during that time.
It is,
but
I'm going to choose to believe that it wasn't, because that's an unacceptable turn of events for them.
What really creeps me out about this is that it makes this almost like this bizarre, creepy, I don't want to talk about this, but this weird, creepy, like, brother-sister fetish thing, like, it, like, legitimizes that. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's like, can we please not? Like, I do.
First of all, having 13 children, pretty impressive. Kudos for that.
My dad has 11 brothers and sisters.
Your
So
grandparents were busy, Adam.
Sure.
Sorry. How old are those? What's the difference between your?
I think it's just a couple of years for each of them, at most.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, this is getting weird
anyway,
now.
The point is, it was bizarre, and I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, that sounds
too bad. I watched your lie on April 1st because
so
cleansed my palate.
Let's just move straight into who to win. How's about that?
How's about that?
Sounds
Okey-doke.
good to me.
Glad I
We're going to go home and take a shower.
Yeah.
So.
It was a good time.
Alrighty.
Good time show. I didn't forget anything, right?
Probably not. I don't know.
Nope, that was all of it. I like the direct quotes, though. Can't believe that was real. Alrighty, so, who to win? Let's
do who to win.
Okie dokie. So go ahead and pick your name out of there.
Okay.
Try to grab from the bottom.
I did not.
I saw
Wild.
You. There you go.
Wild.
All right.
No, you go first.
Well, I go first.
Should I pick someone just right now?
That's how it works.
All right, yeah, all right, fine. So let me think about this. So something I like doing it when it's somewhat relevant to what we were talking about today. Let me go back to our list of stuff we talked about.
Marvel and DC.
Yeah, a lot of DC. I'm gonna go. I would go. I was gonna say Lobo. Oh, Spider-Man.
Okay.
It's Spider-Man. New Spider-Man with the cool eyes.
All right, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. I got the Ninja Turtles.
Sounds good to me.
All 4 of them. Alrighty. Best Ninja Turtle, Adam?
I know what you would say. It's Donatello, but...
I would say that.
Yeah. But I would... They all have problems. They all have things I don't like about them, so it's really hard for me. But I guess I would give it to Raphael, but after that would be Donnie.
So. It's actually a trap, because if you said anything other than Donatello, you would be wrong. Because I don't like any of them.
Yeah.
Donatello's the least offensive. Anyway, best enemy, and
best
Spider-Man beats out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as far as enemies go. Spider-Man has way better enemies.
Yeah, Spider-Man is defined by his enemies. He has so many awesome enemies.
Yeah, Shredder is lame.
Shredder is lame. What about the big brain thing who wants a body? Krang, that's it. Yeah, what about the thing that needs a body?
Sucks too.
What about
the pig and the rhino?
The pig
they're lame too.
Bebop and I can't even think of the other one. Rocksteady, thank you. But then you got
you knew their names.
You got Sandman, you got Green Goblin, you got Doc Ock, you got your Venom. Yeah, your Venom. You got your Venom.
And Carnage and all sorts of other good characters.
I love Spider-Man's enemies. Actually, quick thing. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like one of my absolute favorite heroes.
Spider-Man's the best.
Spider-Man rules.
You are right in that assessment.
I love Spider-Man.
I think we can agree on that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I got 2. I didn't mean to get 2. What's this? What does this say? What in Akura? What in the world does that say? Akuma? Who is that?
From Street Fighter.
Shang Tsung. That's from Mortal Kombat. I know who Shang Tsung is.
Dude, they had a death battle.
Did they?
They were like the second death battle.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
How about that?
Wait, Shang Tsung is the main villain, right?
Or no, that's Shao Kahn.
Oh, that's
Shang
Shao
Tsung's
Kahn.
the soul-stealing guy.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, now I remember him. Okay, got you.
All right.
Oh, yeah, he's the one who's like old and young and old again.
Old and young and old again. No, we did that one too many times. That's a name.
We're so good at this. So much talent over here.
Yeah. Best character design as far as look goes.
Shang Tsung is actually one of the lamest characters in Street Fighter when you get right down to it.
True.
He's just a guy who's like, he just looks like an Asian stereotype, really. Like, he isn't much more other than that.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, Akuma doesn't look that great either.
I can't think of who Akuma is.
Okay, you know what Ryu looks like, right?
Yeah.
Imagine red Super Saiyan hair. That guy?
I think I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah. His costume's not that great either.
I'm just going to Google it real quick. I have my computer right here, so Akuma.
Okay.
I just want to see him in my... Okay, I see him now.
Yeah. I guess I'd pick Akuma over Shang Tsung, but neither of them are that interesting looking.
Yeah, I'm going to look up Shang Tsung again for myself just so I can... It'll take like a second. It's fine. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there he is. Shang Tsung. Yeah, he's just an old stereotype. That's all he is. I would give it to Akuma. No, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Because I also just don't like Shang Tsung. I think he's dumb.
I don't like Shang Tsung either. And
I love Shao Kahn. I think Shao Kahn is like, for me, he's like the quintessential video game final boss. He's so difficult and scary, and like he's just so intimidating, and like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I would agree with that.
No, I don't want that.
Why not?
I don't want Aladdin from Magi, whatever.
Magi.
I don't care. Prince Zuko. That's much better.
All right.
I love Zuko. What?
Most likely to join Lantern Corps.
No.
And it wasn't.
No!
And that wasn't even the name. It was a situation I pulled out of the name.
Answer is Zuko, and it's the Red Lanterns. Done.
Why would you put this back? Now I got Sinbad from Magi.
I don't know. No, wait. I got Aladdin, I think. Wait.
Oh,
Yeah.
well. I pulled it out already. Too bad. Yugi and the Pharaoh.
Oh, great.
All right, and the thing is, most likely to catch them all.
Yugi and the Pharaoh compared to Prince Zuko.
Yeah.
Well,
Zuko had one job to catch one guy, and he couldn't do it.
Zuko is very experienced at trying to catch things,
And not at all
but
at
not
catching them.
very successful at trying to catch things. Wait, actually, technically, does he ever do it? I think he does once or twice.
He does, well, depends.
he lets
How
them
long
go.
do we consider having caught them for? Because Aang escapes. So, do we consider that as a capture? If he gets away?
Yeah,
in the
but
same
there were a
way
few
that the
times
villains catch
there were a
the
few
good guy?
times there at least one point in season 1 where he helped Aang escape, mostly
Yeah.
because he didn't want someone else to take
Well,
the
yeah,
credit,
as
but-
the blue spirit or
yeah,
whatever.
but he helped capture him at that point. I think he did. It's been a while since I saw season 1, but I saw season 3 and 2.
Well,
like
he
recently.
definitely joins the team instead of catching him, so that's like opposite.
Yeah, that's like
letting
going
your
out
Pokemon go.
It's like letting your Pokemon go and then going off to live in the wild, Tarzan style. It's
Yeah.
just like, I will become one with the Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, what's
Yugi and the Pharaoh don't
Yugi
catch
and They
anything.
don't catch things per se, but they do look for cards.
Not really.
No, yeah, it's true.
There's one specific episode of one issue where where the Pharaoh actually gets new cards, and it was just a passing by moment of like, wow, he really likes card games.
All right, well, in that
that
case,
was it.
In that
So
case, I
Zuko,
almost want to give it to Zuko, just because
he's
Zuko,
the only one that caught anything for any amount of time.
Yes, and he did do it once or twice. Not
So-
often. So yeah, Zuko.
Zuko it is.
Zuko would be more likely.
Go Zuko.
Also, Zuko.
Your dad will be so proud.
Zuko is kind of like Gary, in a way. He's just this.
I guess.
He's just this angry rival for the protagonist,
I suppose.
and he caught at least a few.
Gary?
Did
Yeah,
he
Gary.
catch them all or not?
Gary did not catch them all, but he did a much better job than Ash did.
Ash is terrible. We
Ash
all
is
know
terrible.
this. He's a terrible trader.
He is.
He is outrageously bad. He loses half the time in the gym badges, and they just give it to him because
No. That was only for Brock and Misty. He actually
That's
wins
two.
the rest of them.
yeah. Okay.
Okay,
sure.
well that was 6 other ones. He only got handouts for a third of them.
Wouldn't that be a fourth?
You're right. It would have been a 4th.
Yeah, it was
because it was 8. You're right.
Yeah.
It was 8. Well, still.
Oh man, at the con, they
That
had
you went to and didn't get me anything. Go on.
Yeah, they had a thing of like a little like collectible thing where it had all of the badges, like for each generation.
That's pretty neat.
It was really cool.
I would
didn't-
like one of those.
I didn't get it, but
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
yeah, whatever, Steve. I'll tell you what. I should have gotten one, and then you and I could do Pokemon battles. And every time you won, I would give you one badge. Then you could collect them all.
And then I could literally never have a badge because I would never beat you.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay.
No.
On that
you
sour
wouldn't.
note, thanks for joining us
Maybe
today.
I could do it. Maybe I could do it where I would have to stick to only one type. That'd be kind of fun for
Okay.
each badge.
Well,
That'd
then I
be-
would definitely beat you. If you told me what type it was ahead of time, I would
Well,
definitely
yeah, I would
beat
tell
you
you.
then.
All right, so that'll be it for this episode of Dork Duo. You can join us again next week when we talk about Daredevil and get excited about Batman v Superman, and we'll
True.
probably see it literally hours after we record next week.
Probably.
So yeah, join us next week for more complaints and excitement. Goodbye, everyone. Oh, this thing is not ready. So I'm just gonna cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out. So
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye, everybody. Cut this all out.